Hello. I tried the countdown. It worked this time, and I'm still live. And joining me today, as I promised, is our little bit of eye candy, Enzo.
Hello, Karen. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Hang on. Let me make sure it says live up in the corner. Yeah,
it does. It does. We've been live for almost a minute. Yeah, I tried. I tried to do the intro to the live last time, and somehow, I don't know, we spoke for a good half hour, 40 minutes, and
it's like about 40 minutes.
and somehow when I did
we're pulling up shared screens, and I'm pointing at maps and talking about all kinds of things. Wait a minute, we're not talking to. We're just talking to ourselves.
Oh gosh. So who's here? Oh, Tanya's here, of course. Hello, Tanya and Cheryl. Hey, Dawn. I'm enjoying the recipes you're putting up on the Facebook, by the way. Kathy. Hello, Kathy. Kathy's usually always here. Kibba, probably not paranormal. Oh gosh. So I'll keep an eye on the chat because there's 9 people watching. Ooh, 9 people. There you go. But yeah, sexy Saturday, says Tanya. Hey Joe. Oh, Sam's here. Hey Sam. I have no idea what Enzo and I are going to talk about today. Am I yelling? I think I am. What? I tend to yell. I'll settle. It's because I'm excited. I'm excited to be back home. Because I can get on my computer and use my data and all that sort of thing. I miss America. I really do. I love America. And but I'm kind of happy to be home. But just so I can do things. I've got tons of content.
America loves you too.
Actually, that's an Australian salute. Yeah, that's an American one, isn't it? That's you're this. Yeah. I don't know. What? I can't hear you, says Sam. Hey, Maisie. Hey, I'm glad to see you. You can email me later, Maisie. Maisie and I have little chats via email sometimes, all top secret stuff, no gossip. Oh, dear. So, yes, I'm happy to be home. And I should have told them I was going live. I could probably send them a message, but the one place I miss, if you can see my cup, people, without it glaring too much, but there we go. Is that all right, Enzo? Everyone can see that?
Yeah, that's good. The roasting house.
That's the roasting house in Virginia City. That's the Christmas mugs. They've got another one, I'm pretty sure, with Santa on it. But I didn't grab. Mandy, the owner of Roasting House, gifted me that mug, which was very kind of her. And I must admit, every morning, without fail, I was at the Roasting House. I'd get up in the morning.
Were you there every single morning? Because
every single day that I was in Virginia City, I was at the Roasting House. That's where people will find me. If they ever not sure where I am, they need to just go to the Roasting House, and if I'm not there, they'll know where I am. That's what it's like. But yeah, so I went there. I'm going to actually put together a little episode on the Roasting House because the history of the actual building itself, that's what I'm going to tell you all about, because it wasn't obviously always the Roasting House. It said Robert, Mandy's son, so Mandy owns it, and Robert, her son, he's the main cook when he's there. Robert told me he's had a couple of experiences downstairs, and I laughed at him. Well, I said, because he was drunk. That's where he stays if he's had too many in town. So he just goes and sleeps on a cot underneath the Roasting House.
Makes you a bad person.
Yeah, no, and I just laughed at him and I said, "You sure, that you just weren't drunk and imagined it all?" No, he said. So I don't know, but I've had to talk to him. So I thought I might put together a little episode on the Roasting House and the history of it, what it was before it was the Roasting House and all that sort of thing. Mainly it was a saloon. I think that whole town was just full of saloons, to be honest. But yeah, I'm going to do that. And that's why I'm happy to be home, because now I can sit on my little computer set up here, and I've got my hard drive, and I've got the footage I took of the Washoe, and I still haven't looked at that episode. I will do that tonight. I have to look at whatever Enzo was doing while I was walking around the Washoe. But he did keep everyone entertained.
I was also drunk in the basement with you, telling the audience what you were up to.
Oh gosh, am I missing anything in the chat, Tanya? Am I missing anything in the chat? Tanya's talking in there, but oh yeah, probably not paranormal. Says I would never leave a haunted coffee shop. Just set up a cot for me. I would actually considering asking Mandy next time I'm there if I can set up a cot downstairs and stay there. Only because I'm right next to the coffee house. Then when they start in the morning at 8 o'clock, boom, I'm right up there for my morning coffee. And Robert cooks a really good. They call it a scrambled breakfast. So it's like scrambled eggs, but it's got capsicum and mushrooms and yum, all sorts of things in it mixed up. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh,
yeah, breakfast food is my favorite food.
Yeah, I love breakfast food. They cook other stuff, but that's my favorite there. But, yeah, and they're all set up for Christmas and...
I know you were sad to leave, but
I know. When I was leaving, I was really sad because everybody said goodbye, and some people even like cried because I was leaving, and I went, "That's really
you have that impact on people."
Oh, apparently so. Hey, Joseph. Hi, Joseph. What's Kibba say? Oh, Kibba. I tell you what, bloody Kibba. You're always sore. Look. Stop having these procedures. Tell the doctors that you're well enough and you don't need them. But mind you, the pain pills are pretty cool. I hope the pain pills are helping, Kibba. I really do. I know there's a lot of you in here. I'm just at a glance. I know who you all are. And I hope you actually are sort of, I hope you enjoy this crap. I'm talking about it a minute to make you laugh. It's not crap, is it, Enzo?
No, we're catching up with you. We haven't had a proper long form conversation, and I can't wait to hear all about your entire trip, really, and whatever shenanigans you got up to on the way home.
Shenanigans on the way home, not so much. And I didn't really get up to too many shenanigans. I only had... If anyone watched my little episode with Janice Oberding yesterday, the 5 haunting questions, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's only 15 minutes long. It's not too taxing. But Janice and I went to, all right, so people will know who Julia Bulett is if you're familiar with Virginia City. Oh, look at those pretty lights. Julia Bulett was a lady of the night who was much loved in Virginia City, not in that way, but she's the main female that people speak about in regard to Virginia City. So she was, there's all these rumours about her being not buried, kept in a wall, all this sort of stuff. I think I've gotten to the bottom of it, so I'm going to do a little episode on that as well. But we were in the place called the Cigar Bar. We couldn't go downstairs. We did ask, but the lady who owns it said, I would let you, but she said the stairs, there were repairs getting done to the stairs, so you couldn't get downstairs safely. I just wanted to go and visualise where one may have assumed Julia Bulett's body was kept for God knows how long by a so-called obsessed what do you call them? Funeral parlour man? What do you call them?
Undertaker.
That's the word. But we were in there, so we just did a silly little thing. We went over to the corner and did like a Julia Bulett, are you here type thing. But so that's the only night that I got up to shenanigans because we didn't get drunk. We just had a wine. Oh, well, I didn't even have a wine. I had a gin. But yeah, so we had a bit of fun. Hi, Kasara. did I say hey to you, Joseph? If not, hello, Joseph. So we had fun, like, and we just got up to silly business. But I didn't drink any alcohol. I'm not very good with alcohol. I get into all sorts of trouble with alcohol. I'm trouble enough without it. You don't need me to be drunk. Hey, Julie.
With all the bars you were talking about now, everything was some type of bar or saloon there. I would be right at home.
Yeah, well, you'd probably be right at home, Enzo.
Whiskey.
Whiskey now. But yeah, look, I had fun. I was staying with a friend called Connie. Connie works at the Silver Queen. So if anybody's ever at the Silver Queen and you're happy with the way your room looks after you've either on arrival, or if you ask for some fresh towels and to have your room made up, it's generally Connie Small that does that for you. So leave her a tip because she works bloody hard. Not many people do, which is, I thought, was odd, because I thought Americans tipped everything. But yeah, she'll go.
Americans generally do tip at like restaurants or like to like folks who get in your car, stuff like that. A lot of people forget leaving a little something behind for
the room service
the cleanup. Yeah, a lot of people forget that, and admittedly, I'm kind of if I don't, because like the last time I was in Vegas, I was there for 5 days. They never stepped foot in my room once.
Oh, that's naughty.
So you get nothing.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, but Connie does. She taps, hi, room service, do you need anything? Like, she does her job. She's good at her job. But yeah, I was staying with Connie in her house. She's got her house where she lives, and you go up some stairs, and she's got a lovely little apartment up the top. So I was staying in that. So in the mornings, I helped feed the horses and the mules, and went up to the Mackey Mansion and helped feed the Mackey Mansion chickens, and the deer were there just about every morning. I did put up a little short video somewhere with the deer. I can't remember if it was YouTube or Facebook, but so I had fun because of all the critters, and I've met so many critters, and all the wild horses, of course, that are so naughty and bump me all the time. And when they bump me, all the food I have in my hand falls out. They're very naughty horses. So now I've got to go back and get more food. Sometimes I even bump that out a second time. What are you going to do? But yeah, no, I had fun. So I visited lots of places. I went to Sutro Tunnel again, St Mary's Hospital, as it was known. It's now the Arts Centre. I went there. That is, when I go back, I want to probably see if I can stay there for a few days. You can stay there if you want to. I would love to. It's stunning. They've done such a good job with restoring that. What else did I do? Oh, well, the Washoe Club. At least I can put, even though I don't think anything happened while I was there, except that really odd thing in the bathroom when we were speaking on the live. At least I can say I stayed there by myself. Like, I was all by myself, all by my lonesome in the Washoe Club. I don't think very many people can say that, because most people would be too chicken. I was like Mrs. Chicken, like the ghost and Mr. Chicken. I was the ghost and Mrs. Chicken, except I didn't get a fright. Let's have a look. Oh, everyone's talking to each other in the chat. How rude that nobody's talking to me.
I've actually been answering a few messages to me. So.
Oh, well, see, everyone's talking to you, Enzo. Nobody wants to talk to me. Right, that's it. End of story.
Do they have gambling at all those places there? I know it's in Nevada.
Yeah, the I don't know, the things slot that you push the buttons on. Yeah, slot machines. That's all. Yeah, because I'm not a gambler, but I know you'd enjoy it, Enzo. There's the slot machines. There's the I don't think there's anything else. I don't know, but anyway, you'd enjoy it. So how come I keep popping up like that? I'm not doing anything.
That was me. I was trying to switch over to my regular avatar, but for some reason it just turns my.
Oh, you're mucking around with me.
Yeah, that was me. I don't know why it was doing that. It's not supposed.
Oh, blackjack. Yeah, they don't have blackjack. I am doing quite well, thank you, Julie. And I'm not going. I asked you yesterday how you were. I'm not going to ask you today. But get better, which is hard to do. I know. But anyway. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Happy to be home. So I am going to get started. I've just got all this footage and I don't really know where to start. So I'm just going to pick one and start. So I think I might do the Mackie Mansion, work on that one and pop out a little episode with that, because I did have one of my friends from the roasting house. I was going to stay. Yeah, Eileen is her name. And her little boy came along with her to the Mackie Mansion. So it's kind of a cute episode because, bless his cotton socks, the little boy did a dowsing rod session. So,
Oh,
it was cute. It's a cute episode. It's going to be a cute episode. But he was adorable. All those kids in Virginia City, must be something in the water. I haven't met one rude child. All the kids are gorgeous.
wow.
Yeah, I reckon move to Virginia City if you've got children. They tend to turn out okay, obviously. Oh, parenting helps. But
To be honest, most small towns like that in the US are usually kind of like that. You don't really run into a lot of rude people till you start getting to the bigger cities. Plus, it's a touristy kind of town. I'm sure they get the don't be mean to the tourists or else they won't come back. You'll have no money.
You'd cut your own throat if you were rude to the tourists. Just the town would die on its ass. But Joseph, I'm hoping to come back to the States in about 6 months' time. All going well. We'll see. I might talk about that later. Enzo knows what I'm thinking, but we'll see. I might talk about that later. And yes, Cheryl, the children were happy to see me, sort of. It was, Mum, I need to go to the shops. Mum. That started already. I'm back to going to the shops. I have to go to the shops today, for example. It's like, back to the shops. I came in to my home and it's my fault. I should have hired someone while I was away to come and mow the lawn in my backyard, but I didn't, thinking that, it's that time of the year. It's not going to grow that much. Oh, my Lord. It was about 2 foot high. So I mowed it. I got it down and everything, but you know what it's like if you don't mow your lawn. I don't know if you know what it's like actually, but if you do not mow your grass and you leave it to that point, it actually kills it off at the bottom when you mow it. It's like terrible. It's starting to sort of freshen up now. So yes, I am kind of glad to get home. What else? Yep, that's the end of questions. There's a coffee shop with slots and, hang on, what's Kibba saying? Bloody all these gamblers. There's a coffee shop with slots at the border of Nevada and California near the Colorado River. Okay, is that California? Or, yeah, that's CA's California, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's California.
See? Oh, I'm almost American.
Look at that.
And they used to have coffee for 10 cents. With free real, it's almost worth pretending to gamble for a coffee, but still not as good as the roasting house.
Oh, I'm sure it's not. It's a common touristy thing in Vegas because if you're gambling, you'll get a free drink. I mean, you'll get like a free beer or like a basic drink, nothing fancy. So a lot of people see the waitress making their rounds and they suddenly start putting a quarter in the machine or whatever. Oh yeah, I'll have a whatever. And
well, it keeps you there, doesn't it? I did go in Carson. There's I don't actually know, maybe it's called the Bear, I don't know, but there was the Bear Cafe, as in BEAR, and there's like a restaurant in there, but it's a casino, and the food was delicious but cheap, like really cheap. And I'm assuming that's why too, because they encourage you to come in, eat a meal, then go gamble. So in some regards, that's a good thing about a casino, but I cry if I lose $5 in anything. So I'd be no good at being I would love to sit there and play it, like just play it to match it, because I'm a little bit OCD. I'm a little bit like, I like games like I could, but I won't, because I know I'd forget I'm putting money in there and think I'm playing a game. And no. So you won't catch me. maybe Enzo, if you get to Virginia City when I'm there, maybe I'll sit next to you and maybe I'll spare myself $20. That would be the limit.
Well, actually,
$20.
the key is setting up a budget. Okay, I've got $100 for the whole weekend. That's all I'm going to spend on gambling. If I lose it, I lose it. No more. I'm not going to go to the ATM and get more. Yeah, any of that stuff. And if you're winning, knowing when to stop. It's like, okay, because sometimes you do get on these weird streaks where you win. You gotta know when to stop because you'll lose it twice as fast.
Yeah, I reckon, like, say you had $20, you put it in the machine, and you win $100. Take 80, put it in your pocket, and keep the 20, and do it again. And then if you lose the 20, it doesn't matter. You've got still like $80 in your, or 60 ahead. Yeah, I think so. Tanya. Sorry, did you say when you were hoping to go back to Virginia City, Karen? Yes, I did, Tanya. You need to listen to me, young lady. I love Tanya. I'll tell you what, Tanya's a godsend. She's so good. She's so good. She's underappreciated, aren't you, Tanya? Yeah, I'm hoping. Oh, well, how many people are in here? There's only 14 people watching at the moment, Enzo. At least that's what I can see. So the plan is, guys, that I've spoken to Enzo, I've spoken to Janice Oberding, and some of you people might be familiar with my other friend, Taylor Hanby. Taylor is now the boss at the Sutro Tunnel. She's taken on the managing role there. So she's in charge of the Sutro Tunnel, and she's also a journalist. She's writing a book, and she's got her brain's full of history. Like, you can ask her a question, and if she knows a subject, boom, out it comes. She's just like that. So I've spoken to Taylor. Janice, whom, if you've watched my live on Thanksgiving, and if you watched the little episode I did yesterday, 5 Haunting Questions, you'll know that she's been involved in the paranormal for over 40 years. So she too has a wealth of information on the history of Nevada, and ghosts as well. But I'm kind of keeping the ghost thing out of it a little bit, guys, and I'll tell you why. So what I'm planning is for Janice, Enzo, Taylor. I can't remember if there was anyone else. Me, that's right. Who are you? Me. To go to Virginia City, date yet to be announced. You know how people go and do the paranormal weekends, you go there for 2 nights and you go to, you do different things, paranormal investigations, right. It won't be it won't be paranormal in too many regards, more so historical. So I'm planning on working with Janice and Taylor, and Enzo's going to come along because he's our eye candy. He's our version of Zach Bagans. Okay, we've got to draw in the girls, so Enzo's going to come along.
I just won't argue with you, though.
But the idea is to have a weekend where, if everybody's interested and wants to get to Virginia City, we'll have a weekend where we go to all these places that I've already talked to a lot of the owners in Virginia City as well. So they're sort of all on board with this idea as well. So it's a work in motion, but where you can all come along and go with us and listen to the history talks that Janice and Taylor and myself will give. Enjoy the eye candy in Enzo. Enzo can be our comic relief. But yeah, just sort of for like a Friday and Saturday night, and then the night time, if people do want to go and do the paranormal stuff, I'll make sure that that's available to you by and by, that the people, but that would be something that possibly, I don't know, possibly I could fix it, but maybe just you guys, I'll let you know what's happening and where, and you can go along to that if you like, because the whole town really is interested, as much as they appreciate people coming in looking for ghosties. they also appreciate people coming in and taking in the history of the town, because it's really cool, like the amount of people that started that town. I mean, Virginia City was bigger than California. It had something like 25,000, and at the same time it had 25,000 people. California, like Los Angeles, had 8. So, like it was a huge, huge thing back in the day. So I want to do a sort of a history thing, and also telling the history, tell everybody exactly who did die in certain places and the events of their death, etc. And then we'll do that. We'll do a few things, but it's a thing in motion. It's a plan in motion where we're all there. We'll have a big meal together, maybe on the Friday night, buffet type style, I'm thinking, so we can all walk around, finger type foods, but good finger foods, chicken wings from the Red Dog and pizza from the Red Dog. Although there's a pizzeria in Virginia City now, so it all depends who gets on board to help me out with providing food. But that's my job to organise. But because then that way, if anyone can get there, it's kind of like this community can meet up together and have some fun, learn some interesting things. And then if you want to stay longer, you can stay longer. Like I'm going to stay for at least 3 weeks, but this is just like a weekend thing. And Enzo might get there a few days before. And if anybody does stay longer, like, still people can hang out. Oh, Princess Scary, they have gluten-free pizza at Red Dog. So if you did get there, I'd make sure I'd get gluten-free, because there's a few people who can't have gluten. So it's all good. But yeah, so I don't know. So that's an idea, a plan in motion. And if it all works, then hopefully I'll get a date and be able to sort of put it out there for anybody who might like to come along. But otherwise,
you're planning on like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday meetup, or Friday, Saturday, something like that?
Yeah, like so Friday, everybody arrives, whatever they do, and Friday, maybe 5 o'clock, I don't know, 5 o'clock, get to the venue that I'm planning to use, say g'day to everybody, we'll eat early, and just walk around. And the venue I'm planning to use has a bar attached to it, so later on, if people want to go and hang out in the bar, they can. But yeah,
come drink with me, everyone.
Yeah, go drink with Enzo. But so it's a plan in motion, something that I wanted to do, and mainly just get the truth out there about a few things too. So because, as Enzo was saying before, if you're going to investigate places on a paranormal level, you should know the truth about the places, not the made up rubbish.
Learn the history.
Learn the history, because then when you go into a place to investigate, you're more than likely, if you get results, at least you'll know what the results are in relation to, the true history.
It'll give you that context of, if you do record something unusual, of okay, what time frame could this have been? Who could this possibly have been? Because there's a lot of that I've discovered from you talking about that town, is they know exactly who died, where, when, and why.
Oh yeah.
So
there's still a few mysteries, but I think the mysteries come down to the fact that it's a story that's been warped into something it's not. So when you go to search for that history, you think, why isn't that showing up? It's because the story's not exactly true. So you're looking for the evidence of nothing. Like, you're not going to find evidence because that just didn't happen. I found out a few things about the Mackey, that like John Mackey, it wasn't even called the Mackey Mansion. How's that? It was Gould and Curry building, and it was a residence, but it was more like the main office for the Gould and Curry mine. So the superintendents of the mine lived in that house, which we now call the Mackey Mansion, but it wasn't the Mackey Mansion. It's really interesting. So I'm going to put an episode out about that. And Mr. Mackey barely ever stayed there. The wife didn't stay there. They had rooms in town in a building that was called the International Hotel, which ended up burning down. When that burnt down, Mr. Mackey did move into it because he was the superintendent, but he didn't stay there much because he travelled. So he was all over the world, but he mainly stayed in France with his wife. So a lot of interesting things. So when people go there and go, Mr. Mackey, are you here? Mrs. Mackey, are you here? Probably not.
Right.
Probably not, because it wasn't really their home. It was just a place that was, and it was always owned by the Gould and Curry Mine Company. So it was never actually even owned by Mr. Mackey. So interesting things like that. Yes, Tanya, I am. Tanya says I'm the evidence queen. Well, it's funny, like, that's a thing too, Tanya. Like, you look at all these things to find the evidence, and like I said, you get told one thing, you look for the evidence, and then it's not there. And I fell across something that I was quite sure was real, and I was told by someone it was. The evidence was presented to me, and it gave a different year, and I thought, that's really strange, but I guess that's why some people, the locals, don't know about this event. As it turns out, there's a whole mix-up with that, and the actual dates given are correct for the death of this person in the Washoe Club. However, I've now got his name. I've got photographs of this person. I've got, actually, I'll tell you what it is, the story about, in the Washoe Club, I think I mentioned it that night, there's a story of a man who supposedly hung himself. He didn't. He used a weapon. But I found out who he is. It did happen. I found out when it happened, and then there was stories about the reason he did it was because he had lost his son in a tragic accident, and I, for the life of me, couldn't find anything on that. But then I stumbled across it by looking for something else. So it is true that his son, a 19-year-old boy, did indeed, with a friend. They were drunk. They were with another fella. They were mucking around. They fell down a mine shaft, and that was the last of it. Their bodies were pulled out the next day. And the man who passed away in the Washoe Club, that was his son that died. And you know, it was only a couple of years later, and I guess the grief was too much to bear. And so that is true, and I can verify that, and I can put in pictures now. I've even got a picture of the boy. So if anyone went to the Washoe Club, they could access what I put together and go, oh, well, that's what he looked like, and that's what the boy looked like. Oh, beaut, we've got some names, we've got some details. So if you did get anything in a recording or whatever, and you know the right things to talk about to the spirit. Mind you, I tried that night I was there, and bloody bastard didn't want to talk to me. How dare he? But as I say, you know, I don't know. Go, Enzo.
Out of curiosity, since you mentioned the mines and stuff like that, do they have like tours of the old mines, or are those considered too hazardous? Oh, really?
Yes. So there's actually one in town. Okay, so that's one of the other things I'm trying to figure out, because there's the Collar Mine, which is just, it's in town, but it's a long way to walk. And everything I'm trying to do is for everybody that might come that weekend. If they've got cars, fantastic. I'll tell them where they can drive to. But the whole plan for me for that weekend is everything within nice walking distance.
Right.
So in town, in the main street, there's actually a tour you can go on which takes you into a mine that runs underneath the building. So I'm planning on trying to incorporate that. Yeah. So I want to incorporate that. I want to incorporate a visit to the church, because I think people, well, firstly, it's gorgeous to look at, but secondly, the history is important. I want to obviously go to the cemetery, pay our respects to Stinky. Introduce you all to Bernadine, Stinky's mule. I've got a whole different gamut of ideas that I want to show you all, and then let you go on your own little adventure on the time off. Like, go to the shops or stores, go eat, go enjoy it, and I'll try and get you by walking to places and let you know the history. And I plan on incorporating the Mackey Mansion somehow. So it's going to be kind of like a jam-packed weekend, but we'll see what we can fit in, and what we can't fit in, I'll give you the info for. And if you're staying longer than the 3 days, then you can you'll still know the history of these places, because I'll be talking about places we may not be able to get to because of time. But yeah, so that's a plan. So we'll see what happens. Let's have a look. Oh, hey, Abandoned and Forgotten Wales. I've got to catch up on your videos too, mate. Abandoned and Forgotten Wales. Wales. He does some stuff that I wouldn't do. I watched him one night go into a cave. Bugger that. All the way down to it. Nah. I'm happy to watch it. At least I know when you watch these videos, they've edited them, they've put them together so they're safe. Because when you're watching it, you're thinking, bloody hell. Like, you know. Hey, Cobalt Dragon. I'm getting better at that, Enzo. Hey, Debbie.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm trying. Oh gosh. But yeah, so look, that's a plan. It's a plan. We'll see how it goes. I'll keep you posted. But yeah, I do want to get some of those stories out there for everybody. And look, it's only a select few who watch my little channel and actually see my episodes that give you the history of places. So you've got a heads up compared to a lot of people who don't look at my little channel and still go by all the BS stories. So all the stories you see out there when people go, I went to the Sally house and was attacked by the demon Sally. Well, you know, good. That's wonderful. I don't know who she is, but she's got nothing to do with the house, you know. Or like
you shoot it with your proton pack.
Yeah, a bit like that. So, you know, but it's not their fault. It's just they don't research. People go into these places and they don't research. And then they're surprised when they find out, oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. And I'm still learning a lot, you know, so it's interesting. Oh, and I'll try and get everybody on the train too, because I know the owner of the train. Yeah, they're the steam train. I know the owner of the train thing now. So I reckon I could write to him and say, hey, there's X amount of us, you know, and get everybody on the train. And because that takes you down to Gold Hill, to near the Yellow Jacket mine, which of course is notorious because there was a big fire there and people died. But plus it's fun.
I absolutely love the idea of it's because this is basically a meetup with you know, your
basically
fans or people that are just interested.
Yeah,
but they can come up for the day, or you know, a couple of the day, or stay the weekend, and there's things there to do. It's not like we're just gonna be hanging out at the bar all night.
No.
Problem for me.
Yeah, no.
But that's some people need a little bit more. I'm all about the conversation, but that's fantastic because there's nothing like spending a long time following someone on YouTube or on a podcast, and you get this opportunity to meet them in person. You know, and speak to them face to face instead of, you know, text through
by
a thing
text
or
on here. Yeah, and I figure if it's okay and it works out well, then I can do it once a year or something, like once a year, and then that gives people time to, because for anyone that's not in America, like for example Tanya, I mean, I reckon Tanya would love to come across, or Cheryl or Debbie, but it's the airfare. The airfare is atrocious. So at least if you say, hey, this is happening a year from now or 6 months from now, it may give people opportunity to go, well, look, I could save up for the airfare and the, you know, accommodation, blah, 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 make a real holiday out of it. And and then they can get there and come meet up and stuff. But anyone who's in America, it's a lot easier for you guys if you're close by, because you can maybe drive if you need to. And accommodation.
I would drive because I like to drive.
Yeah.
It's 22 hours is how far away you are from me.
Yeah, but look, but the thing is, like accommodation in Virginia City really isn't hugely expensive. You can, and that's something else. If I knew for sure there are a lot of people coming, there's 28 rooms, for example, at the Silver Queen. I could possibly speak with the owner and say, hey, if there's this many people coming, could they get a little bit of a discount on the room? And the other thing, the other exciting thing that's happening at the Silver Queen is now when you go to the Silver Queen, it closes. It closes around about 4 in the afternoon most days, because it's not a bar that stays open at night. But there's the building next door to it was a little store with clothing and stuff. They've sorted it all out now. There's a big kitchen in there, so there's going to be a bakery / cafe.
Oh.
And when you're in the bar in the Silver Queen, there'll be a menu, so you can actually order a meal and eat it in the Silver Queen. So that could be something else too. They may have breakfast available by then, and then people can stay at the Silver Queen and go down and have brekkie there if they want. But there's tons, like the Roasting House does breakfast, the Canvas Cafe does breakfast. I've spoken to Alexia there, and I'll talk to her again about my plans and see, so everybody that is in Virginia City, the businesses that the people I know and I've spoken to, they're all pretty keen. Like, they'd love it. They're all pretty keen to sort of give everybody some kind of incentive to come into their place and eat. And so we'll see. Hey, Aussie Walks. But yeah, so it's a good plan. We'll see how it works. I mean, because a lot of other people offer the paranormal type things, which means that you're up all friggin' night and you don't get to see anything during the day. But if anybody comes along and then they say, oh, well, now that I've listened to Karen and Janice and Taylor talk about these places, I might ring up and book that in, or now I'll know what to look for, or whatever, So anyway, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But
even if that is not everyone's cup of tea, Reno's very close. Vegas is a little further away, things like that. So you could still, if you're wanting to party it up, Reno style, I guess you could, and then, drive up to Virginia City for a couple of days to meet up with you and I.
Yeah. Like if Virginia City, you can party in Virginia City, you can. They have karaoke on Friday nights.
Oh.
There's pizza joints, the bars, most bars. Washo's usually open quite late, till about 11 p.m., sometimes later if it's busy. What else do they have? I don't know. There's lots of stuff. But, Julie just said it sounds great, but she has problems walking. I will say Virginia City is probably not a disability-friendly town because it's old.
Yeah.
So you can get wheelchairs up on, like if you had a wheelchair, you can get them up onto the boardwalks. But like, and there's one Silver. Oh, I've gone blank. I've got to talk to her anyway. But there's another hotel in town that does have access that way if you were staying in a hotel. But like if you were going to stay at the Silver Queen, for example, you probably couldn't. Oh, you could right up the back, because if you go the back entrance from B Street, you can get in that way. But it's just they're not allowed to make. It's an old town. There's no modern type allowances in the old buildings to do things like that. So it's a bummer in that respect. Well then, Julie, we could figure it out. We could figure it out. I'll piggyback you.
Well, everything you said most of a lot of this stuff is within easy walking distance.
Yes, it is. So, that's my plan, because I'm not the fittest thing, and I can tell you now, some of the hills in Virginia City are like this, so going down is easy. It's when you're walking back in town, but yeah. So there you go. Well, that's true. That's why YouTube is handy if you've got mobility issues, because you can kind of, what's the word they use? Live via someone else's
vicariously through
vicariously. That's it. But we could, for the people that can't be there before those particular reasons, we'll make sure that those nights for the people that can't be there, we could do a live stream or something so they can all say g'day and see what we're up to, But mind you, like you've seen, the data and the availability of internet in Virginia City is fleeting. But it was okay in a few of the places they've got Wi-Fi, and you can connect up to their thing, and so we'll see how it goes. But gosh, 40 hours to Virginia City. That's by car, I'm assuming, because I'm only 24 hours. That's by plane.
I'm dead center in the middle of the country, and it takes me about 22 to drive there. So probably not paranormal. Must be East Coast someplace.
Did I miss Jess? Hey, Jess. I'm sorry I missed you. I just saw someone said
big shout out to Jess Rogie, good friend.
Yes. Hello, Jess. Jess? Yeah, it's not Jessie. It's Jess. Yeah. No worries, Cobalt. Well, that's the whole idea, because even my other little friend in here, so we've got Julie that's got some issues, and we've got bloody hell, Aussie Walks is the same. So, like, you know, like there's different things we can do for different people. That's what I mean. Like that could be something so we can all get together and have fun and meet and just have a ball. And because there's tons of people here that I see all the time and I'd love to meet. But, you know, but that's why I thought give it time and see how much all this sort of stuff is going to cost to put together. See what that works out to, and then just take it from there. And if anybody can get there, great. And if they're not able to for other reasons, then we'll do a little live stream from there. And then if it all completely falls through, then I'm still going. So we'll see. Yeah. Thank you, Enzo. This is correct.
And yeah. It's my intent to go there regardless of you know, there's a big shindig of people or anything like that anyways. I'm already, that would be my second trip of the year. I'm going to be going to the Contact in the Desert, which is in Palm Springs, California.
He's promised not to.
So
yes, he's promised not to get abducted.
That's right. The aliens need to be scared of me. I'm not worried about myself. Yeah, no, I went last year. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself.
Oh gosh, I could come to Ontario. I've been to Ontario, but I love Virginia City. What can I say? But one day, I think it's just like how many times I've been Virginia City now? A total of 8 weeks in total. So 2 months of being in Virginia City in total. I still haven't seen it all. I still haven't.
Wow.
Because I have heard people say, Virginia City, it's great and all, but once you've been, you've sort of seen it. No, it depends what you're looking at. Like, no, you haven't.
It sounds like there's a lot of stuff there.
There's tons. You've got, it's tons. And you've got Gold Hill and Silver City, which are just down like 10 minutes in the car to Gold Hill, and then another 3 to Silver City, maybe 5. And there's stuff that like Silver City is where the Donovan Mill is. And that's awesome. They've done so much work on that now. I did go there. I'm going to put a historical episode together for you all about the Donovan Mill, because you've all seen people go there and investigate. And I'm pretty sure you've all seen the same content I have, as in, oh, there's something not very nice at the Donovan Mill, and oh, it's haunted, and oh, this happened and that happened. Did it? So leave that up to me, and we'll see what we can find out. Some of it's true, some of it's not. But yeah, I was lucky when I went there. They've got the crushers, they're called, great big, like boom, boom, to crush the ore and look for the gold and silver in it. And it wasn't like it wasn't turned on when I was there, but the guy had it working, and he showed me a little videotape of it working. So they actually got, I mean, that's from 1860, I think, 1865, something like that, that actual machine that hadn't worked in over 100 years, and they've fixed it.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty awesome, and they've shown me through everything and explained everything, and they'd be keen for people to come and have a look at that too, because they've worked. Yeah, they've worked so hard on it. So we'll see what we can throw in and let people see. It depends on how people get there, if they've got cars. I mean, people will obviously have to get there somehow because there's no train, and you might be able to get an Uber, but I don't know. I normally just get a hire car when I'm there. If I lived in America, I'd probably just use my own car.
Sure.
Just drive.
But the nearest like city that people would fly into and things like that would be Reno, right?
Reno, yeah. You'd fly to Reno because it's literally 25 minutes up to Virginia City from Reno. Oh, if you count driving from the airport, 40 minutes from the airport up to Virginia City. And for people that aren't too fit, if you had a car in Virginia City, even though I'm planning on doing all this within walking distance, some people may still like to drive to certain places just because walking up and down the hills are exhausting, but it's fun. I shall check my emails, Maisie, no worries. Yeah, Julie, driving would probably be the better thing, only because then you can get around. And then also, if I can get the Donovan Mill in somehow, because I'll have a hire car, that's my plan. So if I can get the Donovan Mill into it as well, as I say, it's a 10-minute drive roughly from Virginia City. So, I could throw some people in my car.
We could figure it out.
We can carpool. So it's a plan. It's a process in motion. I'm hoping to get everybody a little goodies bag as well with different samples and bits and bobs from around the town that you can sample, and if you like it, go shopping, whatever. But yeah, we'll see what we can do and how it works out. But Virginia City is keen, at least the people I've spoken to there are, because they're keen to get people more into the history and know the true history of the town. And there's tons of murder mysteries. I should ask Janice to talk about that. I mean, if you're into true crime at all and mafia and murders, and you'd be amazed at how many of those back in the day took place in Virginia City. It's like, whoa. Wonder if I can bring my dog driving across the border. I can't see why you can't. You're still in America. It's not like you're going from one country to the other. America's big, but you can take your dog. Why couldn't you take your dog? Probably.
The way that's phrased, they may be in Canada, I'm guessing. That's why they word it like that.
Oh, I'd just stick the dog in the boot, go across the border and say nothing. Boot trunk.
Sorry, I knew what you meant.
You knew what I meant. Or give it some Valium, let it pass out on the back seat, cover it with a rug. They're not going to know. I don't know. Well, you surely can take a dog across the border from Canada, can't you? It's the same. It's just a border.
You would. I mean, unless you had to have like shot records or something like that, I would think would be the only thing. As long as it's
I don't know. You'd have to look into that. I'd like to meet your doggy. I love animals. And then I can introduce you to. I do. I can all introduce you to my favorite. Actually, I saw it. Did I save it to this desktop? Hang on. I think I saved it to my. Oh no, it's there. I'll show you. Present. Share screen. Oh. Hang on.
You have the doof workout. You get up early, you go make your rounds feeding all the local animals, then come back for coffee and breakfast.
Oh, here we go. I've got it worked out now. Present, share screen. There you go. Share. See this horsey? That's I've named this horsey Morgan. Because he apparently is a Morgan breed. That's a thing, go figure. But I've named him Morgan, and he's very cute. He looks like he's been rolling around in the dirt a bit there, but he's very cute. And you see the grey. He's not old. I thought he was old, but it was explained to me that horses, when they get bitten, like oftentimes the patch where they've been bitten, you'll see grey hair. I don't know why. And that's what I was told by a horse person. I don't know if it's true. I have not investigated. But that's Morgan. And Morgan is with his friend that I called Nippy, and Nippy is the one that comes up to me in the mornings when I'm there. I'm feeding the other animals. So Nippy comes up to me and he grabs my coat, or he does this, and he's the boss, Nippy is, and Morgan stands with Nippy. So Morgan is not keen to let you touch him because he's very wild, but towards the end of my stay there, the last 3 days, I guess, Morgan was coming up and let me touch his nose, but then he'd go all funny. But he let me touch his nose, and sometimes he bumped me, which is when I dropped the food. That was me. Morgan. It's Morgan's fault. Morgan was bumpy, and Nippy. A couple of times I had food in my hand for the donkeys, and what can I say? Nippy pulled my. These things happen. Accidents happen. But yeah, I loved Morgan.
If anyone's not familiar, it's important to point out these are wild horses that live.
Oh yeah, they're wild horses. They're Mustangs. They're not like someone's pets. They're Mustangs. So I'm still very aware because I was in between, standing in between Morgan. Oh, he's beautiful. I was standing in between Morgan and Nippy, and they had words, so to speak, and I was stuck in the middle, like between them, like between their bodies, and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to get crushed. And I put my hands out like that. I said, boy. And Morgan went, oh, she's touching me. And he jumped out the way. Nippy just turned around and went to nip me. I said, that's it. I walked away. So you've got to be careful because they're wild. They're not used to having humans stand in between them. I didn't do it by choice. I didn't do it by choice. They walked up to me and I was kind of a bit trapped. But
I'm surprised they did that, to be honest.
Yeah, they come up to me like they're not scared of me, which is it's like an honor. Like, that's really cool because you see them. There's a few other people in town that they'll go to as well, but not many. They kind of like keep their distance. But when I was out, Nippy, there's also 2 other female horses with them, right? So I came outside to feed the donkeys. They were all up there ready to say good morning to me. The wild horses were. And Nippy and another horse started to go at each other like, oh my God, they're going to fight. Like there was a bit of pushing and shoving. I've now seen in the real, like horses having fun making babies. So Nippy wasn't fighting with the other horse. He was getting excited. Yes. Yeah. Thanks. I'll put Morgan there. Hi, Morgan. I miss Morgan already, but so be it. Oh, what can you do? But he's cute. I love Morgan, and all the horses. They're just gorgeous, and the dogs in the town. Oh, and there's a little dog. There's a little pig called Peppa Pig. It's a pot-bellied pig. Yeah, there's all these. I just love it. But yeah, I'd like you all to meet Bernadine, Stinky's mule. I'll put together a little thing about Stinky so you all know who Stinky is. But he was quite the character.
Legend, yeah.
He is a legend in Virginia City. So yeah, there's tons I want to do, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't even know if I can fit it all in. But if I can't fit it all in, I can always do another one, like do something different the following year. I don't know. Or just tell you all where to go and you can fit it in yourself. Whatever. But yeah, but I'm looking forward to seeing if it works out. So we'll see. But yeah, has anyone got any questions about anything that you want to know while I was over there and stuff? Because I've kind of kept talking. I don't think I've missed anything in the chat, have I? Except people singing different songs.
Yeah, we got a little serenade going on during the horses interactions.
The horses interaction. Oh, it was funny though, because you'd think at my age I've seen dogs and I've seen pigs. That's something that's like
pigs.
Crikey. Like I didn't know. Did you know a pig's thingy is like a coil? Corkscrew. Oh my God! I thought, and my daughter
But
was with me at
ducks
the
are the
time.
same way.
Yeah, my daughter was with me at the time. We saw these pigs, and I've gone, oh, like that. My daughter's gone, my eyes, because she was only little. Oh, Thanksgiving, Maisie. I was Americans do everything big. That's all I'll say. But I really loved Thanksgiving. I went to Janice's house for Thanksgiving, and there was the sweet potato casserole. Have you had that, Enzo? Sweet potato casserole?
Yeah. Did it have marshmallows on?
Marshmallows. Yeah. Who'd have thought that goes beautifully with
I
roast
know.
turkey? Who invented that? Like, I'm looking at my friends making them. Janice made hers with just mash, sweet potato, the brown sugar, the butter, and the marshmallows. Hers was recent, but my friend Connie Small, she made hers with sweet potato apples, like layered. That
Sounds pretty good.
yeah. So yeah, no, it was delicious, Maisie. I couldn't get over it. Like, I thought, it sounds what?
I
But yeah,
know.
no, it's the other thing. Hey, Dantex. The other thing I tried was pumpkin pie.
You'd never had pumpkin pie before, right?
Never had pumpkin pie, and it's
What
absolutely
did you think?
delicious. Loved it. And coconut cream pie, like Gilligan used to have. I think I could probably survive the rest of my life just eating that. I've never tasted my mouth, like, I was like, no, yum. What else did I have that I thought was different?
Yeah, a lot of North Americans don't really put that together. That pumpkin pie is kind of something unique to North America. They have it in Canada, of course, but and the U.S. But it's not really done like a pie, like that, like we have at Thanksgiving and Christmas.
No, it's
And
like it looks like a
I've known,
cheesecake.
yeah, and I've
Yeah.
known folks that visiting from Europe, and they're like, I will fight everybody. We're going to this place specifically because it has pumpkin pie for dessert. I want my pumpkin pie.
Oh, I loved it. So I'm actually going to try and for this Christmas, I'm going to, and yes, Dan Tex, I did try pecan pie. You can keep the pecan pie because it was just like eating mouthfuls of sugar. It was just
Yeah, it
too
is sweet.
sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just too sweet. But everything else, Tanya, the pumpkin pie, look up a recipe for it because it was really nice. Like, who'd have thought? I mean, I know a pumpkin is technically fruit anyway,
Yeah,
but
it's a gourd. Yeah.
I mean, it is a fruit. It's got that's what it is. Comes from that. But yeah, no. So I had the pumpkin pie, but so this Christmas I'm making a pumpkin pie, ambrosia. I think that's what you call it. They have it in Canada too. Except the only problem is here we don't have Cool Whip. Cool Whip. We don't have it.
Whip.
Cool Whip. That's the one. We don't have it. I have searched high and low. I've Googled, just not available in Australia whatsoever, which is very disappointing because you make it with the Cool Whip. So Cool Whip and the fruit salad and bananas and blah, 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 marshmallows, a lot. But I've got real cream, so I'm going to just thicken that up and make it with real cream. Hopefully it tastes the same. What else am I going to make? Yeah, so pumpkin pie. I'm going to look for a coconut cream pie recipe. But see, that's a problem. Well, the problem here too is that so many things I was spoiled going to all of your supermarkets in America.
Yeah, we got fancy supermarkets.
And I come back here. I was in the supermarket this morning. I wanted to look for, which I thought, what a brilliant idea. My friend Connie made, and Janice made their stuffing for the turkey. They just went into the supermarket. I went shopping with her, and there was a big bag of just dried bread, cubed. and there was turkey gravy, and there was all these things, and basically just went home, added in the chickens, the stock to the stuff, and this and that, and I thought, oh, it's brilliant. So today I thought, oh, I'll get a bag of those. We must have those. No, no such thing in Australia that I could see called turkey gravy. There's plenty of chicken gravy. I'm like, oh. And all I could imagine in my head was how glorious it was to walk into a supermarket and anything that you can possibly imagine except for Vegemite was there.
That's true.
Like,
that's right.
No Vegemite, but everything else. Like, you walk in, there's I can't explain. Next time I go there, I'm going to have to take a video.
A lot of people from other countries, outside of the US and Canada will come and visit, and they are shocked at these giant grocery stores we have, where it's not that they just have a lot of things. It's even the individual thing that you're looking for. There's like 5 different types or brands that you can choose from. If you're just looking for like a bottle of ketchup or some mayonnaise or mustard or whatever, you have options, you have choices, you have some that make it this way, some that make it this way, some that have this in it. There's a million different variants.
The sooner they invent what's it on Star Trek where you can go from one place to the other,
really transporter
fast. The sooner they do that, I honestly would not even bother with our supermarkets. Our supermarkets compared to America are pathetic, absolutely pathetic. Like,
well, I'm sure you may have noticed most Americans are quite heavy, especially after eating our meals for weeks at a time.
Well, I noticed that all the weight that I lost before I went to America, I lost like over 10 kilos.
You found it. Yeah,
I found it. I found it.
You don't really lose weight. You just kind of misplace it for a little while.
I misplaced it. I found it in Virginia City. Oh, God. But,
found it in the grocery store.
Yeah. And the other thing that's a killer, at the Roasting House in Virginia City.
The Roasting House. Sponsored by tonight's program.
Sponsored by Roasting. This is nothing sponsored by them. I just love them. But if you're there, sometimes Mandy cooks them. She's the owner. Sometimes someone else will. But they have, this was the other confusing thing to me. I finally got it. So they make, to have with your morning coffee, mostly they make scones, your version of scones, right, which are about, I don't know, an inch thick, roughly, and cut in maybe squares or however they cook them. Delicious, all sorts. Like, what did I have one day? I had ginger and something or other, and that just tastes like gingerbread, but all different flavors, like strawberry and white chocolate, or lemon or apple, and all these delicious things called scones. So this little black duck had a scone every morning with my coffee. Scones in Australia are biscuits. So when I finally figured it out, because I said, just give me a biscuit. I want a biscuit. So I had a biscuit, opened it up, put butter on it and jam, had a bite. It's a scone. So, so when we make a scone, which is primarily very English and then down to us, it's your biscuit recipe. And, they usually rise about, pretty big, and then you break them in half, lots of butter, cream, jam, whatever. That's a scone for us, but a biscuit for you. And your scones are more like what we would call possibly like some kind of a slice, something that we would make up that doesn't rise too high, right. And you slice it up, and it's warm out the oven if you want it warm, or you can eat it cold. So, I was in heaven every morning. I'd walk in and say, "What? Yeah, what? And I haven't had anything since I've gotten back, and I really miss it."
Did you have any cornbread while you were in the States?
I did. I had gluten-free corn. Well, I had some gluten-free cornbread. You can keep that. Well, That was
That doesn't
disgusting.
sound so good.
Yeah, but I had regular cornbread, and that was I had that on Thanksgiving with the turkey. Janice made some cornbread, so I had cornbread, and yeah, but I'll tell you what, it's just delicious. America is delicious.
We do know how to cook. We know how to eat. That's for sure.
We do know how to
We
eat.
don't know when to stop eating. That's why I think I heard you mention how just the serving sizes to go out to a restaurant were just monstrous.
Well, that's the other thing I learned though, Enzo, because in Australia, if you go to a restaurant, you have entree and main meal and dessert. Entree, mains, dessert. I was looking at your things, and all it said was appetizer, entree. It didn't say main meal. I worked out the entrees are the main meal, and the appetizer are the entrees. So,
Right.
but even the appetizers, I got. I thought, oh, I had a soup of the day, and I thought, look, I'll have an appetizer, and I got, oh, yum, pickle fries. So pickles sliced and then battered and then deep fried. Just saying it sounds like I'm going to have a heart attack. But
Right.
deep
Pickles are
fried
great.
pickles. So you know, but
You,
pickles sliced like a
oh
French
yeah.
fry, and
You
then
could you could deep fry an old tire and I'd eat it. Like at the fair they always have deep fried green beans, which is the same thing. It's green beans in a
yeah,
little
yeah,
batter and
green
fried.
beans instead. Yeah.
Man, that was good.
Oh, lordy. But yeah, but that was on the appetizer list. So I've had my soup and I thought I'll just have that. And then I was going to get like a mains of some description because I hadn't eaten all day that day. So that was going to be everything. When they brought out the thing of bloody pickle fries, it was like a dinner plate full, like, full. And with dip, I think it was ranch dip. And I'm like, oh my lord, I like that was an
In the
entree. Like,
states, the appetizer is usually meant to be shared amongst at least like a couple people. So that's why it comes out on the giant plate like that. And then whatever your individual entree you order is usually. I usually don't get any kind of appetizer or anything like that unless I'm with like a big group of people, and then we'll nibble on whatever it is.
well, I went. Jennifer's just said next time I'm there to go to KFC. I went to KFC on the day I
Oh,
left America
what
down
do you think of that?
in Carson City. Right, our Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurants are put to shame by
Oh,
yours. Oh my lord! I walked in. I did take a picture of it, but I know it's not on my computer. I took a picture of the menu in this Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurant to show my kids when I got home. I talked about this yesterday. It's a fantastic bowl, I think they call it, or a famous
yeah.
bowl. Fantastic bowl. So you get a bowl, a decent sized bowl with mashed potato, which does not taste like the crappy pretend mashed potato we get here at Kentucky Fried Chicken. It
Mhm.
tasted real, right? So a whole pile of mashed potato, a heap of gravy, and little bits of Kentucky Fried Chicken, like chunks that are with
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
pressure on top, and corn. I ate it
That
all. I just
yes.
went, oh my god, every mouthful. Oh my god, oh my god, and
My
I ate that. Oh,
my Thanksgiving dinner this year was a KFC bowl inspired thing where I had a big, container thing that I layered the bottom with mashed potatoes, a layer of corn, a layer of turkey, and a layer of stovetop stuffing. I like the sage kind of stovetop
oh,
stuffing. Put that on the top, and each layer had a drizzle of gravy on each layer, and had that.
oh my
And
god.
I needed the Oompa Loompas to roll me out of the room when I was done. But that was just something I was like, let's do something a little weird this year because it's just me. So it's like, hey, we're doing this.
Oh Lord. Oh, amazing. Yeah, they're deep fried pickles. Like they had different things, but holy crap. I just famous bowl. Yeah, Dantex. Oh, Tanya's just, that actually does sound pretty delicious.
It was really
I'm,
good.
I'm really thinking about that for dinner tonight, except I don't have turkey. I could just put chicken.
Yeah, chicken works too.
Chicken works too. But look, I tell you what, I went to my favorite restaurant in Virginia City called the Cider Factory. Dustin is the waiter, and his mum owns the restaurant, and Judy's the chef there most of the time. I walked out twice. I did this while I was there. I had walked in, had the soup, had an appetizer, and an entree, and a dessert. I was sick, as in like physically
Too much,
sick.
yeah.
I ate too much, like a kid at a birthday party. So when I got home, like you said, Oompa Loompas had to roll me out of there. Like I got back to Connie's house, and we're sitting there watching the TV, and I'm like, oh, my tummy hurts. Like I'd really stretched it. I'm like, oh. And then I went to bed, but I was like, oh God, I've eaten too much. But I did that twice. I didn't learn the first time. I went back and did it again. But yeah, oh my God, what's that? A cauliflower salad or Snickers apple salad? Cauliflower salad, I can imagine, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Snickers. I'm not so sure. Is that actually Snickers bars sliced up into it?
Oh, you're going to have to expand on that, Jennifer.
Yeah, we might need an explanation on that one.
Oh, what's Kibber saying? For Thanksgiving, I had pigs in a blanket. I like a pig in a blanket. But Black Friday, we had turkey, mac and cheese, potato salad, biscuit, and cheesecake. See, mac and cheese. I've got a new love for mac and cheese too. Americans know how to cook that properly. And potato salad.
Really?
Yeah,
potato salad.
Yeah, potato salad can be nice. The American one, the one with I think they put mustard in it as well, so it gives it that yellow
I like
look.
the mustard. Yep.
Yeah, I like that. But well, I've just talked about all that, and I already feel full. And all I've had today is my roasting house mug. All I've had today is my protein smoothie.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. Another thing I got to drinking while I was there to try, because I was really dehydrated there, because I guess the change in the atmosphere and
It's a fairly high altitude there too, right?
Yeah, and I was absolutely really dehydrated. So there was a drink, Gatorade something. It's just got the G written on the bottle though. Gatorade. It's like a drink that's got all the electrolytes in it. My friend had some, so I went to the supermarket. Smith's. I think Smith's was the name of the store she took me to where they had it. It's not and of course I thought this is really nice, and it felt good after I drank it, and it was 0 sugar and all that sort of crap, but it was mainly electrolytes, and I thought this is good. Do we sell it here in Australia? No, of course. I'm like, oh God, so much stuff that I thought surely we've got that. No. Australia's food markets suck.
Oh no.
Suck. I did bring home, I should have brought it in here. It's in the kitchen. Ranch style dip in a packet that you mix with something. I'll have to check what you're supposed to mix it with. Janice gave me that to bring home with me, so because I know I can't get that here. I can get ranch style dressing, but yeah, there's a lot of things I just don't have here. I'm just saying, Karen, I know you had an amazing time, but can you please tell us a highlight of your visit? Ooh. A highlight of my visit. Well, really, honestly, the highlight of my whole visit was the wild horses. And I bore you with them all the time. I can't talk about them enough. I love the wild horses. I guess the first weekend I was there, it was a help me out, Janice. Paracon 6, Paracon 6, I don't know, like a Paracon thing that I went to because Janice was talking, so that's why I got a ticket to go to that. I brought that last year. That was $400. But money well spent to a point, because but I went to that and hung out with Janice mostly. But I met a few people. One of them, actually, have I got? Oh, here. Hang on a second. I've got all this stuff on my desk. I don't know. Can you guys see that picture? Oh, hang on. Does that read properly? Travel the Dead. Is that right?
Yeah.
This young girl here, Heather Taddy, and she wrote on the back of it, Karen, my new best friend from Australia. I made sure they said I was their best friend. But she's gorgeous, Heather. We hung out a little bit at different things, and it was really nice meeting her. But what happened was, and I also met a fellow named Aaron Sagers. Can you see? Do you see my Ouija board up there?
Yes.
Aaron, I got that from Aaron. It's a tiki Ouija board. So Aaron Sagers, I met him. I haven't got a picture of Aaron to show you, Aaron. And then there was where is he? Oh God. Then there was Scott. Scott. Shit. Yeah, Scott. Shane. Shocking. Shane is very, very nice. This boy's nice. Okay. He was in the Netflix special 28 Days Haunted. Heather, Aaron, I can't remember what Aaron said he did, but the thing that was funny was I didn't know who they were at all, right? And when we got there, I was hanging out with Janice, and I saw them set up their little stores, and I went to say hello to everybody. So I started with young Heather, and I said, "Oh, and what do you do?" And then I saw a photo on a thing. And do you remember Paranormal State was the name of the show years ago, where a boy, I think his name was Ryan, was the main person, and it was Penn, not Paranormal State, Penn State, Penn, as in the, the university. And it was a group of students who would go to people's homes that were in trouble and thinking that they were haunted. They'd go in with a medium called Chip Coffey. I think that's his name.
Chip Coffey.
Yeah. And I actually used to watch that show years ago. But you kind of, as a female, you kind of tend to look at the males more than you do the females. So I didn't realise, like once she said it and I saw her in the photo, so that's who Heather used to, that's where she got her start. And now she does different shows, and that's one of them, Travel the Dead. I think it's the YouTube channel, Travel the Dead. Heather Teddy. She was lovely. She was quite delightful, actually, like not up herself or anything. Do you know what I mean? Like happy to talk to anybody. And then there was Shane, who I went up to, and I said, and what do you do, Shane? And he was fine, and he looked at me because I didn't know them. So I think for some of them it was like, how can you not know? How can you not know me? I'm on the Netflix, or whatever. But he was fine. He explained what he did, and he was lovely too. And he's got a YouTube channel as well. I really should remember what all their YouTube channels are, but I can't. I think it's Searches, I think is the name of his YouTube channel. But he was nice. And then there was Aaron Sagers. Now, he was nice, but I did get a little bit disappointed because Janice actually said to him, because she knows him, "Oh, you should do Karen's 5 haunting questions." And he's looked at me as if, "What's that?" And I said, "Oh," and I explained what it was. I said, "Oh, you don't have to." No, I'll do that. He said, "I'll do that." He didn't. Yeah.
He ghosted you.
He ghosted me good. He ghosted me good. But I didn't ask anyone because Janice asked that. Like I wouldn't have asked any of them. And I didn't. But Janice asked that. But I thought, sometimes I guess I could be wrong, but sometimes I think it gets to a point where some people might get a little bit too big for their boots and forget where, We're all human. But
Yeah.
but I do like his Ouija board. And he was nice. Like, he was nice and everything. He just ghosted me towards the end there. But the rest of them were lovely. So that was kind of a highlight. I went to a few different places. I had a few people disputed my facts, and it was nice to actually prove my facts to them. So, you know, I don't know. There was one
Slap a
we
few of
were.
them around, did you?
Well, look, I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to get people upset, but my point of view, we were in the roasting house doing one of those this was with this Paracon group, doing one of those, you know, where there's 10 people and is anybody here? What's your name? How did you die? All the usual sort of stuff. And something come up on so what would happen for me from my perspective, because I was with Janice, so Janice said, yeah, go, anything you know, go for it, because Janice doesn't normally lead investigations. So we were sitting there, and so what I would do from my vantage point is, because I don't like those sorts of investigations, I don't really think you get anything except feed off of each other. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But it was nice. They all hung out. For them, it was nice. But a few things come up on those little boxes, like the word monk kept coming up. So I said out loud, are you one of the mad monks that destroyed St. Mary's on the mountain? And with that off to the side, I heard a particular woman who's does history type tours in the town. That never happened. What's that about? And I looked and I said, yes, it happened. I said, St. Mary's, the church. Oh, who told you that? Did so-and-so tell you that? Now, this is in front of a group of 10 people, right? Plus a few others that were hanging around. I said, no, I don't even know who that person is. I said, no. I said, I researched it. I found the articles on it, the newspaper clippings. I said, I've been to the church and I've looked at the evidence downstairs of everything that they did and all of that. I said, it's a thing. No, she said, it's not a thing. That never happened. So I thought, when people tell me I'm wrong, I get really, yeah, I do. I don't like being told I'm wrong when I know I'm right. I don't mind being corrected. So if someone says, oh, did you know that might not be right? Because I'll go, oh, really? Tell me why. And then I'll, just in case. But I knew I was right on this one. So I pulled up something on my phone and gave it to her, and she started to read it. And she went, oh, well, I'll have to look into that. And I thought, you know, and then something else happened again with, something else.
My internet says something else. Oh, crap, to say.
Yeah. So I did get, you know, I just realised that even the people that tour the town and give particular historical facts are missing a lot of the history. I also mentioned the hotel next door, which is known as the Union Brewery. I said, oh, yeah, that was gifted to Lazaro by Al Capone. No, it wasn't. And I went, yes, it was. I said, I'm still looking for the proof of that, because Capone was under the radar with a lot of shit. Like, it may not be traceable back to him, but the story went that this fellow, Lazaro, was one of his right-hand men in Chicago who moved to Virginia City along with a lot of other mafiosa. Virginia City was mafia run for quite some time back in the day after the mines went and when it became gambling and prostitution. So that never happened. I went, yeah, this is what happened, you know, and I told them the history of that fellow. So I thought, well, there you go. They're locals telling history but not knowing full history. So that's where I sort of thought, you know what, people kind of really need to know the history of their own town, some of them. But I guess that was a highlight. Yeah, who knows, did get put out of joint a bit, right, Maisie. I probably shouldn't have done what I did, but I bit. I thought, don't announce in front of all these people that I don't know what I'm talking about. I got shitty, and I thought, fuck you. I do know what I'm talking about. But, yeah, a few times I was able to give, like Heather, I gave her some information because they were about to go and do an investigation somewhere that I had researched. And I said, hey, just so you know, blah, 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 blah. Thank you, said Heather. So she actually wrote back to me later and said, she said, you've done some good research. Thank you. And I went, no problem. So yeah, yes, I did set her straight, Maisie. Don't you worry about that.
Now, at the end of the whole thing, did people look at you differently, like, oh, this person knows what they're talking about, or did they like, she doesn't know anything?
Oh, that particular group were fine. Yeah, because they were fine. I wasn't trying to be a smart ass. I was trying to. What would happen if something like that came across? Monk, so I didn't think for a second there was a monk there, but I thought that's an in to me telling people that were there from out of town a story that they may not know about Virginia City. There was also something else happened that night too. Stinky. Stinky. So I did this. I just sort of said, because there was words coming through the box, and something said horse or whatever. And I've gone, oh, wouldn't be you, would it, Stinky? And a few people that were from out of town said, huh? Who's Stinky? So then I told them who Stinky was. And I told them where Bernadine was. And I told them where he's buried. So I gave a little story about Stinky. So I just figured they're sitting here talking to a box that's spitting out stupid words here and
Random
there.
words, yeah.
Random words. I might as well give them a little bit of a history lesson while they're sitting there. And so that's how I kind of felt. And that's kind of how I felt it should have been going. Like if you're sitting somewhere and getting funny words through a box, it might be relevant to something. So maybe educate people on a story that you know and see if that makes sense that way. But anyway, I just, yeah. Oh, Jennifer. Sorry. Goodbye. Good night. Oh, gosh. I don't know about rewatch later. Rewatch from now. Rewatch from 1 hour, 30 minutes in. There you go. But, yeah, so.
Just remember to hit the like.
Yeah, hit the like button. Anyone hitting it? Oh, I've got 7 likes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to take another drink in a minute.
Yeah, take a sip.
I talk too much.
Did you get traveling to a new place and all that? Did you get sick at all when you first got to the States?
No, I was fine. Mind you, hang on. I did get a bit of a cough and what I thought was a runny nose, but I wasn't sick. Again, I think it was just the change in atmosphere because I had to blow my nose every 5 seconds. I didn't get a nosebleed, but I almost got a nosebleed, and that's never happened to me in Virginia City before. So I think it's more the time of the year. It was very, very cold.
Yeah,
so I'd come from
especially dry up there.
Yeah, and it was really dry. And like normally, the few times I've been there before, hydration wasn't an issue. This time it really was. So there you go.
Yeah,
hey,
you have to watch that. I looked it up a second ago. It's Virginia City's like 6,100 feet. So that's certainly in that range where you're going to tell a little bit of difference. You're not necessarily gasping for air or anything like that. But
no, except for when you walk up a hill.
If you exert yourself, you will notice right away that you're certainly not at sea level anymore.
Hang on a second. Are you going to have anyone from the town on your live stream sometime? Well, Taylor will come on. I did do with Eileen, which I'll pop up. I did do a little bit of a live stream from the Mackie Mansion. I don't know if you saw it, and you could probably go back. It didn't go long because I was at the Mackie and it cost a heap of data. But Eileen from the Roasting House. The Roasting House. The Roasting House. Eileen, who works there, she's one of the baristas. She came along with me to the actually, hang on. Where are we? I don't know. Hang on. That was at the Mackie Mansion. That's Eileen there, and that's her little baby boy, and that's her mum. They came along to the Mackie Mansion with me, and so they told a few stories on that live stream about experiences they've had. So if you want to go and have a bit of a look at that, but But yeah, I plan to get Taylor on at some point to talk about the Sutro and what she's been doing there. She's a local. And hopefully maybe Eileen might pop on again because she's a delight. But not everybody wants to be on the YouTube talking. Like Enzo, I have to pull teeth every week to get him on with me.
I have to go to the dentist on Monday because of it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Maisie, yeah, the little boy was there. I don't know if you were here when I was talking about it before, but I'm going to put an episode from the Mackie together because I've got footage, etc. And it's kind of cute because we sat in the hallway and he did the dowsing rods. He held the dowsing rods. It's pretty cute. Yeah, you know. And I got to see, I got to see him a few times, but I said, did you go to school and tell everyone you stayed the night in a haunted house? And he went, yep. So I said to him, when I put it up on the YouTube, I'll send his mum a link and he can tell his friends to watch him on the YouTube. It was interesting doing it with him, though. He's only, I think, oh, God, Eileen will correct me, but I think he's 10. And while Eileen and I were sitting there and asking questions and doing different things, he kept kind of going like this. And I said to him, what's wrong, sweetie? And he goes, when I'm looking here, I'm fine, but out the corner of my eye, I keep seeing somebody over near there, like someone popping out type of thing. And I thought, well, children, you know, children can possibly see things that we don't. He's only little, so that was interesting. And as I say, until I look back at the footage, which I haven't had opportunity to do yet, so when I put the episode together, I'll listen and I'll look. But in being there, nothing, no footsteps. I was upstairs by myself for a good probably hour and a half, just me, just sitting in I sat in what's known as Emma's room for a while on my own. Those dolls need to go in a rubbish bin. The lady that shows people through, the owner actually despises the dolls being there. He doesn't mind one or two little girl dolls on the bed, but there's all these dolls with eyes missing and cracked faces, and I just don't see the point. I told my friend, just go up there one day with a big rubbish bag and just pop them all in and leave them on a doorstep and say, keep it, like, don't put them back up there. Like, they look terrible. And they do look terrible. It's just they're broken dolls. They're not haunted dolls. They're not anything. It's just put there to give this spooky, evil. Yeah. You don't need to do that. Mackie Mansion's not evil. It's cheap. Yeah, cheap and nasty. Even on the this is just me whinging about it. I'm sure I'll get flack from someone. But even on the front steps of the mansion, there's some old wagons, like horse-drawn wagons. The woman that does the tours has got a skeleton sitting in one of them. I'm like, why? Like, why? Like, you don't need to have all that crap around. The history of that
you don't need to spook it up. It's fine. People already know.
Yeah. Just let people come in, understand the history of the building, why it was built, who did live in it, and I did discover people did die in it. So I will put that in my thing. But, you know, when you do research, I find that if you go putting in the Mackie Mansion, it was not called the Mackie Mansion until it was purchased by someone, I think, in the late 50s. That's when he changed the name to the Mackie Mansion. It wasn't called that. It was the Gould and Curry. It's got a name, Gould and Curry office. Gould and Curry. What do they call it? Survey office or something? Because that's where they. Yeah. And that's all it was. It was the superintendent's house. And if you actually go through it, it's not huge. Oh, it's not small, but it's not. It's not a massive mansion like there are some in Virginia City that you just look at and go, oh my God, massive. But that's what it was. So once I realized what it was actually called and then did my research according to what the building actually was called, bing, bang, boom, all of the information went boom, boom, boom. So now I know who did live in it. I do know who passed away in it. So watch this space, because I'll put in I'll put that. I might do that. No, I'll do it. I'll do it with the one where I did the slight investigation. So we'll see how that goes. But it's good for everybody, because if everybody knows the truth, then if they do go to Virginia City and they do go to the Mackey Mansion, they will know that it wasn't always the Mackey Mansion. It was called the Gould and Curry Building, because there was a Gould and Curry mine. And they'll know the names of the superintendents who lived there and who passed away in the house and all that sort of thing. And I'm still trying really, really hard to get the names of the so-called guard that shot dead 2 robbers, because I'm still getting varied stories on that. One story by the owner of the Mackey Mansion is that it was the guard who was shot dead, and the 2 robbers got away and were later caught and hung. The well-known story is it was the guard was waiting in the vault when it was opened by the robbers, and he shot the robbers dead on the floor. I have to say, I can't say the owner's wrong, because I don't know where he got his information, but I can't verify the owner's story. But then again, I can't verify the other one either. I've got to find, I am told there are articles that substantiate that story. The trouble is finding them. So it's a work in progress. But I want to get to the bottom of that to see if the owner's story is correct or if the legend is. But, I mean, it makes sense that the guard probably shot the robbers if he was inside the vault.
Right.
But the problem is with that story about being inside the vault. I've been inside the vault, and I've looked at it, and I don't know how a human being could have stayed inside the vault with the door shut for any given amount of time, because there's no ventilation. There was no ventilation. So you can't. So that's what I mean. But we'll find out. We'll get to the bottom of it. Hey, Lone Wolf. Oh, no, I did say hello to Lone Wolf. I'm just reading some of the chat. Have I missed anything important, guys, while I've been blabbing along? I'm good at that. Blab, blab, blab. Why should you be getting electrocuted, Enzo? Oh, from your lights around your neck.
Oh.
Someone, Tanya just said, I hope you don't get electrocuted. I haven't got my Christmas tree up yet, Lone Wolf. Only some Christmas decorations behind me up on my thing there, and a few lights here and there so you can see my little setup. But, yeah, I'll get those out maybe tomorrow, because my little grandbaby's coming for a visit tomorrow, so I better have something magical for him to look at. They're coming back. They're just here for tomorrow night, because my grandson and his wife are going for a trip to, I want to say Bali, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's Fiji. They're going somewhere anyway for 10 days, and then they're coming back here to spend a few days with me and have Christmas early before they head off and have their Christmas at home, I believe. Oh, hey, Bernadette. Hey, guys, Bernadette, Lone Fire, all right. Bernadette is often on. Bernadette, please correct me if I say this wrong. Bernadette is on another channel as a guest every now and then with a fellow who I absolutely adore, Lewis from the Nerd Report. I've shared a few of Lewis's things before when he was doing that Peru thing. Yep. But Lewis is lovely. He's very passionate. So he's got a channel called the Nerd Report. And then sometimes Bernadette's on that as a guest. But Bernadette and another lovely boy, Brandon, on the Nerd Daily. Bernadette, I want to say Nerd Daily. I am subscribed to it. Nerd Report Daily. Thank you, Bernadette. Nerd Report Daily. And they talk about all sorts of things, really, don't you, Bernadette? Anywhere from what's happening sort of gossipy-wise with entertainment to aliens to true crime, all sorts. Oh, you do watch Nerd Report? Yeah, it's good, isn't it, Cheryl? I like it. Oh, thank you, Tanya. Yeah, so if anybody's interested, head on over. And Lewis usually, what do you reckon, Bernadette? Almost daily? well, Nerd Report daily, but even the Nerd Report, Lewis often pops content out on a daily basis, short ones, long ones, lives, all sorts. So yeah, but that's where Bernadette's from, if you're wondering. And she's a beautiful young lady too. She's got a face for TV.
She said you were attracted to when she originally came in. It's a little up a little ways.
Oh,
Well,
did you?
hello,
Thank you,
lovely
Bernadette.
Doof. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Bernadette. Hey, Stormy. I'm not going. Oh, hang on. I'll put it up so everyone can read it. I'm not going to waste my money on a fake tree anyways, and I never use real ones. I have too many beautiful forest trees to look at where I live.
That's right. I just leave mine in the forest right here.
I have to, yeah, you'll enjoy it, Maisie. You'll enjoy it. Sometimes Lewis gets very passionate when he talks about stuff, but mostly he's a very kind-hearted man, and it's a nice, positive place to go to. There's never anything really negative. That's what I love about it. There's never anyone really negative there. I'm trying to kind of go off and not watch people that put up too much toxic, name calling crap. Life's too short.
Yep,
there you go, Bernadette, a new subscriber for Lewis. But I think you'll all like it. So go check it out. Go check it out. I was going to say something. Yeah, I am going to put up a Christmas tree this year, just a fake one because I've got one up the top there, only because there's a grandchild involved. But otherwise, last year I didn't do it because I just couldn't be bothered. You put it up and then you got to pull it all down. But I'll do it this year. Passion's good, Maisie. Passion is a good thing to have. But yeah, and Lewis has got it, and yeah, he's good. I was on Lewis's the Nerd Report once or twice. That was fun.
Really?
But you know me, I talk too much, so I think Lewis got sick of me.
What? Really?
What? The guy with the Santa hat is Enzo. Enzo.
Flower the gospel singer. Well, I can tell you that it's not me. I couldn't carry a tune in a bucket, much less a gospel song.
No worries, Bernadette. No worries. I'm just flattered that you even watch me. So thank you. What's Cobalt? So agreed, Karen, about the drama-rama. I have left several channels recently. Yeah, look, I've left a couple too because they went from being fun to watch, you're having a laugh, to what horrible things can I say about this person next? What dirt can I dig up next? And I thought, oh, really? No. So I can't do it. I try. I look back every now and then and think, have they come back to being nice and not doing that? And I just think, no. So I have to stay away from that kind of thing.
Mudslinging like that, it never ends well. And
no,
it's kind of a bad look. Not that you're trying to be like more highbrow than someone else. It's
no. I mean, it's still
if somebody's doing something you don't like, why give them the airtime or the oxygen about any of it? Just like, whatever. I'm not talking about that.
Bernadette, I'll check that out. Was that Daily Report? I'll go in and find it. I've got to see Brandon dancing. That's cute. Yeah, I think so. I did. I made the mistake of being in one of the live chats the other day, and I bit a couple of times because people in the comments were agreeing with the narrative. Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, how disgusting. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, really? If I pop a tape recorder in your room and tape your conversation when you don't think people are going to use that against you, like, for example, Enzo, if I end this live stream, just so people know, when I end a live stream, if Enzo hangs back, we talk for a while. If I wanted to, I could quite easily record it.
That's when I get to say stuff.
Yeah, that's when Enzo gets to talk. So like I could record Enzo talking. Enzo might tell me a dirty joke. Enzo might tell me something about somebody that's between him and I. He doesn't. I'm just saying he might, right? This is an example. But when you're somewhere where you believe that what you're saying to someone else is between just
It's
you,
private. Yeah, it's not being
it's
recorded.
private, then all of a sudden, 2 years down the track, somebody re-looks at that security camera footage and listens and hears you say stuff and go, this could be useful. Money's
That's
dying
just
down.
gross.
Yeah, what could I do here? I know. I'll send it to a few people and see if anyone grabs it to use. And people grabbed it and people used it. And I didn't like it because I thought, you know what? And I think even Bernadette knows what I'm talking about because Lewis spoke about this too. But Lewis was along the same lines as I am. When something is a personal conversation, and you may be aware there's cameras, but you're certainly not aware that someone's going to listen in on your conversation, clip it,
Right,
and then share it with the world. Why? What has that in any way, shape, or form got to do with what you present on your television screen or show or what? That's a personal conversation. I felt dirty listening to it. Does that make sense? Like I watched and I went, oh, like we shouldn't be listening to this. This is none of our business. That's how I felt. But going into the chat and seeing people still being very, very nasty, I thought, why are these people being nasty? That I'm sure they've all done it. I know I have. I've said some really rude things. And if anybody wants to see me say something really rude, go and watch Heather's and my live from last night. Like I talk about BJs and all sorts. And so, you just...
hang on, I need to go watch a video.
It's fun we have. Like I can sit with a group of girls and be in I'll give you an example. And if this ever, like I'm talking about it now, so I'll tone down the language, but I can tell you now that a group of girls, like we've been out having a few drinks or whatever, and you sit down and some good looking guy comes in, the first thing that comes out of a woman's mouth is far dirtier than I've ever heard most men speak. And it'll be about look at his butt. Wouldn't mind grabbing onto that while he's like all these things. We say shocking things. So can you imagine? Yeah, can you imagine if someone takes that and then you present yourself as, whatever, and then all of a sudden, but listen to what she said about that guy's butt and what she wants to do with that butt. Like, oh my God, hands up. I'd be devastated if half the crap I talk about in private
well,
it'd be embarrassing.
what I find just more gross than, if someone says something like that when they don't know they're being recorded, it's the person that actually releases that thinking they're somehow getting you or throwing dirt or shade or whatever. It's like, no, person who just did that, you just proved that you are untrustable with any information now. You just blackballed yourself. Yeah, no one's going to trust you ever again for any reason.
So I know, for example, if I were ever in America and opportunity came for me to go to that particular haunted location, no way. Wouldn't go. Wouldn't pay $1 to investigate it because someone's watching your every word, and when it suits them, they'll pick out a little bit of that conversation because either A, they need some more advertising, they need some more attention brought to the property, whatever, or just because for whatever reason they don't like the particular people they're picking on. I just find it childish and more upsetting that people got on the bandwagon and started to throw hate in that general direction, which I thought was unfounded. I mean, we're all guilty of talking like that. And if anyone says they're not, if anyone ever says they've never said something rude or sexual or lewd about someone else, you're a liar. Either that or you're a nun and like you're a liar. So imagine if some of the things you've said about people were shared after you said them, you thinking, oh shit, oh crap, I knew I was being filmed, but I didn't know they were going to use like listen into my conversation. Like, you know, and all these places have security cameras. They all do. Washoe Club, Mackie Mansion, all of these places have it for the pure purpose of if you should steal, damage, whatever,
Sure.
they've got it on film and they can say, hey, look, there's you taking that expensive artifact. We want it back. Thank you. Not so they can listen to every word and get gossip. That's, and then the other thing, and this is the last thing I'll say about it, I did hear on the grapevine that, well, not on the grapevine, on the live, you could go back and listen to it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not telling you either because I'm not going to, advertise it. But it was said in this particular live by the person hosting it, oh, I was given snapshots of a particular person's personal messages between himself and an ex-girlfriend that throw more light onto what kind of a person he is. I'll leave it there, but should anyone want to dig further, I'm like, oh my God. So now ex-girlfriends or friends of are saying, hey, look what he said to me that was sexual, or look how horrible he is to me. I'm, you know, oh, I don't want to see that shit. That's not my business. That's his business. Like, no. And again, what's that got to do with paranormal investigating? What has that got to do with anything? That's their personal thing. So there you go. End of the Karen rant for today. But you can get my general opinion on things. That's why I'm avoiding these channels, because I find it toxic and nasty. And I have the power to turn it off, and that's what I did. And that's why you won't see anything like that here.
For people that have like an interest in the topic, ghosts, UFOs, Bigfoot, whatever it is, go to these channels, and that's almost never what they talk about. They're talking about someone else and their investigative techniques, or something that they said, like you say, when they didn't realize they were being recorded. It's like, this is soap opera gossipy nonsense that I don't care about it. It doesn't mean anything to me.
And that's, and I just got quite upset about it. I just sort of thought, I don't understand what's that got to do. What? And it got me really angry. I actually contacted them personally, by the by, and just sort of said, I don't understand. I don't understand what this is all about. I'm happy to watch things that are showing people up for being, oh, hey, they said they went to this particular place and they said that this happened. But look, that didn't happen because this is the truth. That's all. That's fine by me. But I really, really hate it when people get into your personal space, and because, you know, but then mind you, I'll tell dirty jokes. I don't care who hears me. So,
that's
I don't care. You know, I don't know, and I've said things about people too. I've said things, and I thought, oh my God, I hope they didn't hear me say that, because you sort of think, oh well, I was a bit rude, but whatever, you know. So I don't know.
Those times when someone is caught like on a hot mic and they don't realize it, and then, you know, you hear them using like foul, it's usually like a politician or an actor or actress, something like that, where, you know, they think they're just talking to the guys like, man, that guy's a real a-hole or whatever, and everybody's all like clutches their pearls. Oh, he used foul language. I think it makes them sound human. I'm actually happy to hear that they talk like a normal person when they don't think anyone's listening.
But that's why I've gone to the point where, look, I'm just going to stay away. I don't know why, if it's the motherly instinct in me. I don't know if it is the fact that I've been privy to conversations where people have spoken far worse than what was shown. And I kind of think To quote someone I rather like, get a helmet, life stuff. Like, get out, like, put a helmet on. Don't, if you're going to be upset by something like that, what's wrong with you? Like,
it's like, what protected little like sphere do you live in that you haven't heard like maybe a few foul language things
or foul
something
comments.
like that?
You know, I mean, I've said I wouldn't mind doing certain things to people. You know, doesn't mean I'm ever going to get opportunity. And it's no slight on them, but I just kind of think, I don't know. And things need to be put in context. But yeah, I don't know. I just think keep it happy, keep it funny, keep it enjoyable, because with the world the way it is at the moment, with what's happening in, you know, other countries, that's horrific. You know, life needs to be full of fun, in my opinion. There's you know, let live, and don't I mean, if that's what people are going to be about, like, there are gossip channels, there are,
Yeah.
you know, but I don't watch them. People do, but I don't watch them, and there's a reason I don't, because I get upset because I don't like gossip. I don't. I can gossip. Don't get me wrong.
What?
I can talk to a friend in private and say, "Oh my God, did you hear such and such?" And then they'll go, "Yeah, I did." And then I'll go, "I'm gossiping." No, I don't know that's true. And oftentimes I'll just approach the person if I think it's something that they need to know. If I think that they need to know that this has been said about them and they might need to take steps. If that's gossip, I guess it's gossip, because I'll go to them and say, "Did you know? I think you might want to check this out, because someone said this about you. It could be true, but I'm just letting you know it's going around."
And if you're friends or you like that person,
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. But
Yeah.
you're not firing up YouTube. It's like, I just heard this person say this about that guy, you know, like
shit, no, because you don't know if it's true. But to be protective of somebody, so I don't know. Like I say, I mean, I'm old, so I've lived enough of a life to see that people can be destroyed. It's like venom. So people can just, if you don't like someone, unless they've done something horrific like murder, rape. Oh, you can't even say that word, can you? Murder, SA, DA. Like, unless they've done something provable and horrible, it's like, don't, because it's not nice. And it's icky feeling. But there's people out there who enjoy that kind of thing, so that's okay.
And
they can.
To be fair, that there are people that do that, and there are people that will watch it, so they get the clicks, they get the likes, because people like hearing horrible things, I guess. I mean, I'm not one of those, but honestly, it's just straight up gossip stuff a lot of the time, where it's
you
know,
and I actually
things and things that are taken out of context or whatever, and just they run with it, and people eat it up.
Yeah, and sometimes even if it's like, even with things like what's his name, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. God, I've gone blank. Will Smith. There were even some things came out about him a few weeks ago. I tuned in to watch something, and there was a clip about him, and I went,
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, but I think, I feel sick. Like, I feel physically ill. I think, why? Just stop. So you turn it off. Turn it off. But then sometimes some things are just in your face. No matter where you turn it off, it's just in your face, and you think, fuck, I'm just going to stay away.
Celebrity gossip like that is the worst, like today. Because if you think about it, like, because there really aren't like big movie stars anymore. Not any. Like, there's no single movie star out today, really.
Not like
if you saw, that you know, there's a couple. I mean, there might be a few out there where if you saw that person was in a movie, it's like, I'm going to see that movie just because I know that person's in it. That's pretty rare nowadays. Mostly
I used to be like that with Bruce Willis.
Yeah. But
Bruce
it's
Willis.
mostly because of like social media. You now know everything about that person. You know their politics. You know what they do on their days off. You know what kind of crappy clothes they wear when they go to the grocery store or whatever. And you see, they're just regular people, just like you, which you see, and you see them in there when they have the meltdown because they don't have the proper soy latte at the Starbucks or whatever, things like that. That you get turned off by it, where it's like, this guy's a jerk. I don't want to be around. I don't want anything to do with this guy. And it's kind of ruined Hollywood as far as that kind of stuff. Because if you think back, when we were kids, the only time you ever saw these people was like during big award shows, which those are all
The
crap now.
Oscars.
Or
I
you
used
might
to
see him
love
like,
watching that.
here in the States, Johnny Carson, if your big celebrity guy was on Johnny Carson, it was because there were only like a few talk shows that they, at the time, that they could go on. I mean, back when I was a kid, there were only, 3 TV stations that, and Johnny Carson on NBC, that was the biggest one, that, celebrities would go on to hawk their book or movie or
I
whatever. So that
still
was a
watch
big
Johnny
deal.
Carson now. I watch at least 2 episodes of Johnny Carson a week. I love it. It takes me back. I think, wasn't that wonderful? You could be sexist on TV and no one said anything. Oh dear.
But back in those days, when you didn't have that accessibility to celebrities, to know what they were really like, that was the only time you saw or heard from them, was when they were on the red carpet for a new premiere of whatever it was they were in, or if they were on, a talk show of some type like Johnny Carson or Merv Griffin or a couple other, smaller shows past that. And so there was this that Hollywood mystique about them, where it was like, oh man, they've got a big mansion up in the hills of California. They're living the high life and a big swimming pool and all that stuff. But now you know exactly where they live and the shenanigans they get up to, and every DWI they get, and every time they get into a squabble with somebody at the grocery store. It's ridiculous that and that mirrors the same thing for regular people like you or I, or someone that's on a different YouTube show or anything like that. There's always the little backbiting and people that are jealous of someone else's success, or have a general dislike because they had a bad encounter with them. Now they're evil. Everything is anti whoever that other person is and stuff. And honestly, I find it boring. Gossipy foolishness like that. And they may generally be, they may actually be kind of a jerk or a scumbag or whatever. And that's fine. Why are you even talking about it? Why waste your breath on somebody like that? Why feed their flame or anything like that? It's like, forget you. Why would I talk about you? You're a zero to me. That's at least my attitude towards it. But some people love that drama. They will go out of their way to search for that drama, which is unfortunate. I feel that we have that. I mean, there's always going to be like, gossipy magazines, even back, in the 60s, 70s, stuff like that. But today you've got, 4K video of people doing something stupid. So it's kind of hard to say, that's just,
there's no, what's the word? There's no, like it used to be magical. Hollywood was magical because you just, now it's kind of like, they fart too.
Yeah.
But they fart too. Yeah. Beautiful night. So I'm with you. I still watch the debunking, like, the debunking channels and stuff, because it is interesting for me on the paranormal aspect. As you know, I get very passionate when people go to places that I've researched and they say this and that and this and that happened, and I think, bullshit, and then I can't wait for one of the debunkers to get a hold of it and show why it is BS. Like, that didn't happen because that's how they did it. Even then, when you're watching most of those channels, it's done with tongue-in-cheek, like a little bit sort of
right,
tongue-in-cheek, like they're not actually. Some people get very offended and go, I know there's been some name calling, for example, in the debunking it generally comes from people who don't believe that the people that they like are faking. And sometimes maybe the people they like aren't necessarily faking. it's more that they're making a mountain out of a molehill. So there
Exactly.
may be, there
Making
may
giant
be a bang.
assumptions on stuff.
Yeah, like they did hear a bang or they did see something, but rather than say, oh, well, that could have been the wood moving or that could have been a mouse or that could have, they'll go, oh my God, oh my God. So, an intelligent person understands when they watch one of these programs that probably a lot of what you're seeing, it didn't happen, or it's exaggerated. But if they're entertaining and make you laugh while you watch it, and you know that, look, it's not, it's just take it with what it is. It's just unfortunate that some people out there, the ones that take money, so there's some channels out there that go, hey guys, super chat me, hey guys, we need money for our next investigation, hey guys, blah blah blah.
Honestly, for something like that, I'm not opposed to, because it's still up to the individual to give their money to them.
Absolutely.
That's their money.
Absolutely.
They can do whatever they want with it.
Yeah,
but as long as they're not saying, if you paid this and you come on our tour, I guarantee you're going to see a full body apparition, or you're going to hear 100 different voices, and you can hear the little Billy kid that died in a fire 400 years ago, whatever it is, because that's the same in all the different paranormal things. The cryptid side, because basically there's people that are certainly trying to do honest research, and we talked about it earlier. We'd like to show people what's going on in Virginia City, but that costs money, and we may have to ask people to contribute a little bit for some of that stuff.
That's different to preying upon someone's grief, and saying, I can help you talk to your loved one that's passed. And that's happened to me, and I fell for it because I was grieving. I grieve, I'm still grieving, but I've grown to appreciate and understand now what to look out for, what to ignore. And like the old saying goes, if you don't like it, turn it off. So that's what I do.
Sure.
But sometimes, as everyone will hear, will know, and
there's several people agreeing with you. It's like,
and even as Stormy, even as Stormy alludes to, sometimes no matter how hard you try to not visualize, see it, and listen to it, you'll turn off. But then you'll go to someone else and they'll be saying it about someone else. But that's why I thought I would just mention what I did, just to let people know that that's my view. I just don't like bad mouthing people.
That's
for their personal lives. Just I don't mind saying, oh, that person's a bloody wanker because they said such and such is true and they haven't done their research. That's different. That's not me saying they told me anything personal. Like, I'm not. It's not a personal thing.
There's different, I feel, classifications for all of paranormal stuff. There's the true believer, where every twig snap in the woods is Bigfoot. Every light in the sky is a UFO. Every creaky floorboard in an old house is a ghost walking around. There's there's people that are exactly like that, and I'm sure you could probably even think of some people right now in your own individual thing. Those folks you can't reach. Those folks, if it's no matter what evidence you come up with, it's like, I was downstairs from you and heard the noise. That was me walking across the floor or whatever that made that creak at the exact same time. No, you were some other part of that. There's always an excuse. There's always something else. No, I'm right. That was disembodied spirit walking along that made that sound. Or I know that wasn't a plane that I saw in the sky. Even though it had flashing navigation lights and stuff like those, flashing were for me because I recognize them as UFO. I know that was a Bigfoot out in the woods because I had been tracking up there many times, and I never heard a twig snap in the distance like that before. It's everywhere. That when you have that true believer class where there's no arguing with them, there's no even if you have straight up direct evidence of a video showing you accidentally stepping on the stick and they heard it a distance away, or whatever this scenario is.
Yeah.
To them, it's real.
Yeah. Well, like the other week on, it was actually Joe's Facebook page. Joe put up, and Joe's a friend. Joe put up a thing about, where did you go? Oh, Bobby Mackey's. And you guys know that I've been to Bobby Mackey's. So I saw the picture of Bobby Mackey's, and that's all it was. So my comment below was, oh, Joe, please don't tell me you wasted money and went in there to investigate. I said, such a dump. And then I said that the scariest thing that happened to me while I was there was I was scared about falling through the floor. That's what I wrote. Right? Now, that's what I wrote. Somebody wrote back underneath, oh, you're such a, you're such a Karen. It's obviously you're such a Karen. And obviously you've never been there or done that. Right, I am a Karen. And it went on. And then someone else said, it was name calling. Now, I've never been called names. Oh, well, I have, but but I've never been called like on. And Joe saw it all, and Joe, I actually said in one of the comments, Joe, is this wanker really a friend of yours? Like, you know how you have friends on the Facebook? So Joe intervened, and he just basically said to the people that were having a go at me, Karen has researched the place and Karen has investigated the place. And I didn't say anything horrible. I said it was a dump. It is. It's getting demolished. That's how much of a dump it is. It doesn't meet code anymore, so they're going to knock it down. I never said it wasn't haunted. I never said anything like that. I just said it's a dump, and please don't tell me you wasted your money going there, because it was expensive, and you can't investigate there because every 20 minutes a freaking freight train parks out the back of it. So,
oh, no.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God. But I'm not saying it's not haunted. Just because nothing happened the night I was there doesn't mean it's not haunted. I just didn't like it because I felt it was, a bit dangerous. And sure enough, it's getting demolished. I think they're going to rebuild it though. So they're demolishing that, and then they're going to rebuild something else on that property. So that's good for them. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah. And yes, Stormy, I saw that. I was going to comment on that. But yeah, we don't need drama. Yeah, I think so, Lone Wolf. It's getting knocked down because it doesn't meet. I'm assuming it's getting knocked down because it doesn't meet code. Like it's not. It wasn't safe when I was there. Like the floors are crooked. You walk on I didn't feel safe there. So I guess there's a reason it's getting knocked down. But it's my understanding that they are going to rebuild. There is at the bottom of Bobby Mackey's. There is an old. I did the research into this, so I know now that it was once called the drinking house, attached to the distillery. Drinking. Yeah, you probably could have lived there, and so, but yeah, but that solid. Like when you go down into the basement and you go into that, like you can clearly see it. You go into the basement at Bobby Mackey's, and there's the 20th century type building, but there's this old brick, like they've built it all around this old brick house. So I thought it was a house, and I was kind of right. It was a drinking house, but that's as solid as a rock. I mean, that was built in the late 1800s. So solid. So it'd be good if they could keep that there and not knock that down. Just see if there's anywhere there they need to fix up, and then build around it, and let people know that was once this building that was attached to the distillery, and it was called a drinking house. And because the Bobby Mackey's itself has got a very rich history, not so much in ghosts, but in just the history itself, ran by the mob, all that sort of thing. So it's truly interesting, and it is researchable. And maybe one day, I just got, I didn't do an episode on the Bobby Mackey's because I just let that up to the others because they had better footage than me anyway. And for me, nothing happened. But it was an experience. I can say I was there. I can say I went to Bobby Mackey's, and now I can say I went to Bobby Mackey's before they demolished it. The win-win situation.
What do you think the odds are that they're going to be like selling chunks like of wood from the floor or something like that for like $5
That's a good
a piece?
idea. Good idea. That's a good merching idea.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think I showed. Where did I put it? Where is it? There it is. So I think I showed this whenever I showed it. I might have showed it on Heather's Live last night. But I do that. I collect things. So that's oh, well, hang on. Well, they're from the Sutro Tunnel. So that's the. Can you see those a bit if I close them?
The square head nail. Yeah.
Yeah. See? So they're actual nails from the Sutro Tunnel. Old nails. So I've got them. And you can buy them at Sutro on the website, by the by, the Sutro Tunnel website. They'll post them to Australia. How do I know that? Because Taylor posted those for me. And then I was at the Donovan Mill, and there was, they've got bags. Oh, I'm going to put an episode together about Donovan Mill. That's just the history there is fascinating. So at the Donovan Mill, they had they would dump the ore. So the train would deliver a whole heap of ore that would get dumped into things and then go along and then get dumped into the big crushers. And that's a bit of ore from the Donovan Mill that they got out of one of the crushers.
You think there's any silver in that?
Could be. But that's what I mean. I do collect. Like, so that's so they cleaned all those out and they bagged it up. So if you go to the Donovan Mill, you will see big bags, white bags, full of ore that they got out of those crushers, and they are slowly going through it. So they've started to take a bag, crush it, see what they get. And I said, well, you never know, in the hopes, because they need to raise money. They're also going to restore another mill that was across the road from the Donovan Mill. So that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, so I collect things. So if Bobby Mackey's did get some bits of wood or something and carve it all up and put in a piece of the original Bobby Mackey's, I'd buy a piece and pop it up there in my collection. Why not? And actually, I forgot. Janice, I forgot to get it from Janice, but she'll give it to me next time. She gave me, but I forgot to take it, a piece of road bitumen from where Jimmy Dean died. So, yeah, so where Jimmy Dean died, that bit of bitumen and road, later on they ripped that all up and replaced it. So the man who ripped it all up, who was in charge, the engineer in charge of all that thing, ripped up a little bit of it and gave some to Janice. So Janice was going to give me some, and I forgot to get it. So that'll be the next thing. That'll go up under a nice little picture of Jimmy Dean. But yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, I love the history. I love it. So I would collect little pieces. I do. I try to collect little pieces of things. I'm sure I got a piece. Oh, no, I didn't. I forgot. Next time I go to the washo, I'll make sure I pick up a stone off the floor in the crypt. Because just so I can say I've got a stone from the crypt at the washo. I'm sure many people have, because it's not hard. That wall falls, bits and bobs fall of that all the time because it is old. I mean, it was built whatever, but have I missed anything in the chat? I've been talking so much. I saw Bernadette Lonefire left, and I didn't have. I saw that earlier, so I'll send her a message later. She's go over and watch the Nerd.
Very nice of her stopping by. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's just nice. Yes. Oh, there you go. Where are we? I'm really glad to be able to see you, Karen, sitting in front of all your goodies on the shelves. I love Crow and Shapes masks there. Yeah. Well, the Shape sent me that one. And that's just one I bought on Amazon. It's not really from Crow. I should say, hey, Crow, send me one of your masks. But I've got one. That's Crow. But yeah, I've still got shelves and shelves of stuff down in my room, all bits and bobs. When I die, people are going to look at this and go, what is that? But it means something to me. So there you go. Yeah. Hey, Victoria. Yeah, relics from Bobby Mackey's would be a good thing to do. Relics from anywhere.
So if they were selling those online, how much would be too much? Like if it was just a chunk of wood that they said was from the floor that they replaced, and they're like $50 for this, 6-inch chunk of wood.
I don't know if Tanya's still here, but if she is, she might not be because there you are, Tanya. Can you go into my videos and get the Pearl Bryant one and put a link to that? Because Rican, I went into a deep dive, sort of Rican, with that. So I've got an episode on the Pearl Bryant murder, and yeah, absolutely nothing to do with Bobby Mackey's. No links, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, but I explained that in the episode. It's not a long episode. I think it goes 15 minutes, maybe 20. But yeah, that was one I did do a deep dive into. So, because I was going to do a Bobby Mackey episode, like, hey, here I am at Bobby Mackey and blah, blah, blah. And part of the story with the Bobby Mackey is that Pearl Bryant's head was supposedly thrown down the portal of Pearl in a well. When you're actually physically at Bobby Mackey's and you look at the well, it's not a well. It's a drain. So when it was the drinking house, again, I've researched all this and I've overlaid maps and I've looked at old stuff, so I know I'm right. But the old building at the bottom where that well is, that's actually just a drain. It's probably, I want to say a foot maybe in diameter, if that. And it's just a drain. So what they've done though is, because it was the drinking house, so I guess that's where they, just a whole heap of crap went from there to the river. But they've dug out around that drain. So when you physically look at it, or and it looks gigantic. If for example, if you do go to a Ghost Adventures, the first one, the boys went there and they film it, and it looks massive the way they filmed it, but it's not. It's just kind of like they've dug up dirt around it, and that kind of looks about a foot deep on the sides, which makes that hole on film seem quite big. I don't know. I think maybe Jason or Cassie may have got that on their film if you go to one of their episodes on the Bobby Mackey that they've just done recently. But yeah, so it was only ever a drain, and the murder of Pearl took place somewhere completely different. They never at any time went to the drinking house. It was not and never was a slaughterhouse. That was further up the road a bit and demolished, I think, around about the time of the Pearl Bryant murder, or maybe before. There was a lot of BS about that. So have a look at that little episode, sorta. Like I say, it won't take you long. You could have a cup of coffee and watch it. But I deep dived into that. So rest her soul. She was murdered horribly by those two people, and it was a solved murder. And no, they never found her head. But the two people that murdered her, I do believe they threw it in the river. That's what they told the police. But they never went anywhere near Bobby Mackey's, and I honestly don't know how. That would have just been someone said, "Oh, that woman Pearl Bryant was murdered around here." Oh, blah blah blah. Oh, and there was also, and I read the court transcripts to the case. I mean, I really dug deep. No mention whatsoever about the two men that murdered her ever having anything to do with satanic worship. Okay, they were just assholes. They were just assholes. He didn't want her to have the baby. She wanted to have the baby, and oh well, that's what happened. And then they even tried to blame it. I've alluded to it in the story. I could have been. They had a gentleman called, I want to say George. George was a African-American coach driver or cab driver. They hired him on the night of the murder to drive them out to Fort Thomas. It's all in the episode, but they hired him. And I really do believe they were going to try and pin that murder on him. But he heard her screaming and he ran. He took off. He didn't even take the cart. He just took off on foot. And the police did talk to him later. He gave evidence and everything. The prosecution tried to make him sound like some dumb African-American person who wouldn't know the truth if it bit him on the bum. But the jury was smarter than that. So in the end, the two men got what they deserved, really. I mean, they did deserve what they got. But, yeah, nothing to do with Bobby Mackey. But I think it was an interesting episode I put together, so feel free to watch it. But that's what I mean.
That's what's amazing about you is you go deep in your research and hunt down to, factually prove or disprove all of these tall tales that are told like that. And that's fantastic. That's exactly what any community needs, is someone that's willing to put in that legwork and talk. As a matter of fact, we've had a couple of folks in the chat that have said that you should write a book about that kind of thing. So,
thank you, Cobalt, for saying it was a great episode. Yeah, I enjoyed that one. There's some of my episodes that you all know I'm very passionate about the Sally House, and I'm very passionate now about Pearl, because when I read more about her, she was a lovely girl. Like, she fell in love with a cad, and people tried to say bad things about her, and that's what I mean. Like, poor girl, what a horrible end she had. But anyway, now what am I missing, Lone Wolf? Whose son? What's happened? Whose son? You know what I'm like when people's children are hurt. Has someone got something happening? Lone Wolf just says, "How's your son, my friend? He will stay in my prayers." Who should I be talking to? What have I missed? Or is it something I'm not supposed to know? But there you go. Someone will tell me in a minute. Whoever it is, I hope nothing's wrong. Nothing worse than a child being hurt. But yeah, but anyway, I did, for your information, if anyone's still here with me, I did see a certain person pop into my chat earlier, and I did read the first line almost to the second, and I thought, no, I'm not buying into it, and I ignored it. So if you all saw what I saw, I'm not buying into fighting with anybody. But yeah, I don't know, not doing it. What's Maisie say? You would be a great private investigator or investigative reporter. Do you know I wanted to be a policewoman? I actually applied. Yeah, Karen Sherlock. Thanks, Tanya. Yeah, I applied for the police force. I applied for nursing at the same time that I applied to get into the police force. And believe it or not, I was super fit. I could run 10K runs around the lake. I could scale because I learnt it. At the time, I was married to someone in the Air Force, so I was able to go on to the base, and I went to the private PTs. Is that what you call them in America too? The PTs, the people that train,
like an obstacle course kind of a thing. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So I had the PTs take me around the obstacle course, and they had a 6, 8, and 10 foot walls that you had to scale flat. I did it. I scaled them. I could do it. I ran and poof, up like I could do it, and I was super fit. So I thought, that's it. I'm going to be a copper, and I'm going to chase bad people and catch them. So I went and did all the exam and everything. I know I would have passed the physical. What I didn't realise, I wasn't as clever as I thought I was, because I had never done one of those IQ tests. You know, the ones where they'll have like 3 triangles is to 3 squares is to, like, where they put all them funny things.
Like logic test kind of things, or
I think that it was like a circle or number. And I looked at this thing in the test. So I'd gone through, I did the math, I did the English. They had math, English, current affairs, and then they had this IQ test thing. And I thought, it was my fault. I just thought, how hard could that be? And then I sat there and looked at it and didn't understand at all any of it. And I thought, oh shit. And I tried to answer some because I kind of got the gist, but I still didn't know how to do it. So the result, my test result was 86%, which isn't bad. Not bad. But at that time that I did it, they put the pass mark up to 90%. So as I got, the sergeant called me over and he goes, ugh, and I said, what's wrong? He goes, please apply again. And I said, have I failed? And he went, yeah. He said, but you haven't really. He said, you got 86%. He said, we used to take 80, but he said the government put it up to 90 because they want young kids coming in from high school. And he said, but he said, we don't. We want old, because I was 33 at the time, 32. And he said, we want people your age that have had a little bit of life experience to come in. He said, so please apply again. And I went home all dismayed. And then I got the letter saying, yep, you can be a nurse. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to be a nurse. I'm kind of glad I did. But then again, I love true crime and I love trying to solve mysteries and riddles. And I think, oh, I would have made a good detective. I could have been nasty to people. I could have been the bad cop. Not really. I think I could. I dated a detective for a while, and I said to him that a little boy, 10-year-old, get this, a 10-year-old stole my car, which was like a van, a people mover, I was at the cinema. And when I come out, my car was gone. I'm like, oh, my God, where's my car? And I went down to the police station to where the guy I was seeing worked. I went, someone stole my car. They found it. They were actually chasing it. It was a 10-year-old. I don't even know how he reached the pedals. 10-year-old boy had stolen it. So they found it. So I went and got it. And I felt so bad for this poor little 10-year-old boy. And I thought, oh, maybe I should go in and talk to him, the poor little thing. And my friend, the one I was dating, said, Karen, he said, this 10-year-old boy is part of a gang and he's not a nice little boy. And yes, it's sad, but no, you can't fix everybody. And I thought, yeah, probably nursing was the better choice for me. I could have. That's right, Tanya. I could have talked the 10-year-old into giving himself up. 10 years old. What could he possibly want? A Superman costume, some McDonald's, a Happy Meal. They did catch him, though. But not there and then. He actually got away. They knew where to find him, so they went and got him. I got my car back. Everything was fine. Nothing was broken. Where are you, Dantex? Oh, Dantex, are you going too? I suppose we've been talking for 2.5 hours. I've managed to insult a few people. Ah, well. I've managed to get in the bad books of a few people. Ah, well. Doesn't matter. So there you go. Yeah, CSI Doof Doof. That sounds like a good name for a channel. Or Doof Doof Investigations. Oh, gosh. It's funny how my channel's gone from being very, very much wanting to look into the paranormal and do investigations to how now I've fallen over like, oh, hang on, I can't investigate that place without knowing the history and the truth. And then how I've fallen into the history. Like, I love the history. But the funny thing is, when you do the history and you look at the history, if you want to do the paranormal, it's all there. So you know the truth and you can go in and investigate better. So I'm currently doing a few things for a few different people, researching into places that they've been, and they want to put together some different shows on these places. So they have asked me to do some research for them. So that's good. That's fun. And probably I'll put together a little episode about the history of the place for myself. Maybe I'll see. I don't want to step on toes in that regard. Sort of Regan, hey, I wasn't insulted. I am now, so balances carry on. When did I insult you? Sorry. But yeah, no. I just want people to know, and I've said it a few times. I'm absolutely trying really, really hard to avoid negative Nellies. I can't do it anymore. I feel I know that half of you are the same. Maisie, Julie, Tanya. Tanya goes to all of the channels. Tanya sees everything. Tanya is all-knowing. But I just can't. Mentally, I just can't deal with it. I just can't. I do love, as I said, I do love watching some of the debunkers hoe into the people that are doing the wrong thing. That's cool. Or saying something's happened. That's fine. And they're not really being nasty to the person. They're just saying, hey, that can't be real because. I haven't personally, because I'm awfully busy most times, I haven't personally seen any of these channels name call. I do know that it had happened, but I hadn't seen it, which was good. Hey, Daniel, Bay Area Ghost. I hope you're feeling all right, mate. I should catch up with you later and see how you're going. But I think life is short and you never know what tomorrow brings, and you need to laugh and be happy. And we can't always do it. We do get drawn into it sometimes. Like I know I was drawn into that other business a bit more than I had, but I don't know what it was. It just hit a sore spot with me, and it wasn't who it was. It wasn't anything like that. It was just like, I don't understand. I don't understand why we have to go there. And I don't understand it. So I was a bit passionate, but I'm over it now. I've spoken to those boys personally, via email, not phone. I've just kind of said, I don't know why it affected me so badly. And I was told by them not to worry. They're staying positive and it's all good. And they'll deal with it as time comes. And I think that's the best way to be. Just pop it over there. The people who want to buy into it can buy into it and do all they want. At the end of the day, it's not going to affect those boys at all. It's just not, because it's not. It's a different fan base, if you know what I mean. It's all kids, really.
Right.
You know, it's kids. It's fun. It's just kids having fun. Young people having fun. And I'm an old woman. I'm an old duck, so my idea of fun is different. This guy, send your love to Daniel, Bay Area Ghost, because the poor little bugger, he's been a little bit crook. Am I allowed to tell him? Yeah, fuck it. He was in hospital, all right. He wasn't well, so send him your love. But he's okay now, I think. Aren't you, Daniel?
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm just I'm older. I'm older, thanks to pretty old. I'm getting there. Another 20 years. I reckon 26 years on this planet, another 26 years. If I cark it at 86, I'll be happy. 85.
Pretty good run.
Or I might be one of those super fit people that just last forever, and people go, oh, Jesus, is she still alive?
Maybe a few less eating trips to the U.S. To make it that far.
Oh, I tell you what, I'm so disappointed. You can only see me. Well, you can probably see I've put it back on in the face. Oh, I could play Mrs. Claus this year, not a problem.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
I've been working on myself in that regard. Just I used to be in really great shape a few years ago, but then when all like the lockdowns and all that stuff, you couldn't go anywhere and do anything. And just
for me, I think.
Ass and did nothing, which was the worst thing to do.
95 is a good age, Julie, if you're fit. Working in nursing and working in aged care as well, you often see a lot of older people, and not all that older, like maybe in their late 70s, and they're, you know, they're fucked. And you think, oh my God, like it's so horrible. But you just, I guess you got to have a passion. If you've got other passions, you don't necessarily have to be able to do a whole heap, so long as you're happy and as healthy as you can be. But I just think some days I just kind of think, I don't know what the rest of you guys in chat are like, but some days you just kind of think, oh shit, really? I've had enough of this. Like, aliens, come and get me. Please come and get me. I've had enough. I've got a secret. Actually, Janice said this the other day, and she could be right. I had thought of this once before, Enzo. Mr.
Yeah.
Expert in the extraterrestrial area. Well, you're my resident expert in the extraterrestrial area. What if time travel? Oh, I love it. Look at that. you need see no evil and speak no evil now, or have you got them?
I've got them.
Oh, cool.
They're all tangled up in my cords. That's
Oh,
that guy.
see no evil.
It's that guy.
Speak no evil. Yeah, that's my motto. I can't speak. I don't do it well, but what was I going to say? I've forgotten now. Oh, they're cute. Where'd you get them? Can I get them on eBay?
Yeah, you can. I found these on Amazon. I've got like a bag of 30 of them. I've got like a little back here that you can't see. It's off camera. There's like a little UFO.
Hey, maybe I should buy a whole heap of. If I make up goodie bags for everybody, maybe I should buy a whole heap of them, and they can all have those in their goodie bag.
Because these are all the little limbs are all posable. You can move them around.
They're like Gumby.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're like.
Oh, excellent. I'm going to look for those. So look out. If this works, you'll have a set of those if I can get my hands on them in your goodie bags. Oh, Stephanie. Hello, Stephanie. I hope I'm not missing anything. I can see Stormy wants to live till 95. But if the toxicity in the world is the way it is now, no, I would love for aliens to take me away. Oh, that's what I was going to say. See, I go off kilter all the time. Aliens, not aliens, but time travel, right? Possibly aliens. I'm getting to what I'm trying to say. And it was actually Janice Oberding who suggested this. Time travel is a thing. It is invented, let's just say. Timey-wimey stuff, right? It's invented.
Timey-wimey.
The government knows it's invented.
Timey-wimey.
The government knows that we have evolved into ground-dwelling creatures because of the, what do you call it? The atmosphere is so toxic now you can't live above ground. So we all live underground now. The government knows this, that in the future that's how we are. But because we've evolved and we don't have to be out in sunlight anymore and all that, our eyes have gotten bigger and our skin has gotten paler.
You're describing the Morlocks from H.G. Wells' Time Machine.
Oh, am I? I see. I should write books, shouldn't I? So we are the unevolved alien. The alien is us. However many thousands of years.
Get your box.
It's Saturday night here. Tomorrow night, Sunday night, the 3rd episode of Doctor Who. Have you watched the other 2, Enzo? Have you watched them?
I have not. I've heard about it. I wasn't impressed. I was like,
oh no. Well,
I'm a little
okay. I won't say why I wasn't impressed with the first one with David Tennant. But it wasn't anything. It was just some things that they put in there that I think were unnecessary.
Yeah, it was distracting.
It distracted away from the story. That's all I'll say. It was disappointing. And even some of my children who tend to think in that way sometimes agreed. So if it comes from a 20-year-old that, I think they could have left that out, they could have left it out. Oh, I love it. And then the second one was weird but good. There was no distraction in that, but I'm looking forward to the next one because it's got Doogie Howser. What's his name?
The toy maker is who he's playing, which is an old original Doctor Who.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that because I adore him. I like anything he does, and David Tennant's still in it. I'm not looking forward to the transition because I love David Tennant. But I also heard on the grapevine, and I don't know if it's true or not, that whatever happens in this next episode, there's some kind of funny break or something happens where it's looking like they may make a spin-off from Doctor Who that's just going to be my doctor, David Tennant, and Donna. Now, I don't know what that means. That's all I've heard.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, so if that is true, I'll be in heaven because I could watch David Tennant and Donna they just make me laugh. I love Catherine Tate. That's her name.
She's very funny.
Oh, I love her. Yeah, I love her as she plays a character where she's an old granny. Oh, she's funny. But yeah, so that's what I heard. That's what I heard.
I go old school. I'm an old Tom Baker guy myself, but
I liked I can't remember him his actual name, the celery one. He always wore a cricket jumper.
Peter Davison, yeah.
Peter Davidson, yeah. And as it turned out, future and all that sort of thing, his daughter married David Tennant in real life. Yep. So in real life,
right. He was in one
my
of the
doctor. Yeah, in real life, my doctor has my other doctor from childhood as his father-in-law. Hey, Catherine, it's all right. I'm still talking. I've managed, Catherine. I have managed to piss people off tonight. I've managed to make enemies, I'm sure, and I've also managed to make people laugh. So there you go. Woohoo! Merry Christmas.
The trifecta. You win the internet tonight.
yeah, Cheryl. Granny. She plays the granny, and there's actually an episode. Hang on, I'll see if I can find it because this is how much I love it. Hang on a second. I can't play much of it, of course, because YouTube has rules. But hang on. And most of you would have seen. Oh, I don't know if you've seen this. Granny. Nan. Sorry, Nan. There it is. Hang on, let me see if that's it. Hang on. I've just got to go back to the. Where is it? Oh, yeah. I think that's him. I don't want to play too much of it because I don't want to get in trouble. But where am I? Share my screen. Get ready for a David Tennant and Catherine Tate thing. Okay, big and.
Are you going to show a video?
Yeah, but I'll make it quick. All right.
Yeah.
We ready?
Super careful, like very short.
I'm gonna be super careful. So that's Catherine Tate, who plays Donna in Doctor Who, as one of her characters, Nan. All right, and it's Christmas Eve, and she's about to be visited by one of the ghosts of Christmas. So I'll have to stop and start.
I can only imagine, yeah.
I'll pause it.
Yeah, I was about to say, please follow. We got the music, we got BBC, which will certainly hit you. Yeah, there's so
all right. It's only
that David Tennant?
That's David Tennant. So if you want to look at this, guys, just type that in and you can look at it later. It only goes for 3 minutes, but it's funny. It is funny. So I'm going to turn it off now because that's all I've shown you. There you go.
Yeah, BBC is very particular about their videos.
I know.
It's tough. Even like way bigger channels than this one still get hit.
Yeah. So anyway, I might get hit, but we'll see. But I advertised it.
They don't see it that way. No,
that's right. I think I got in under the radar. We'll see. But go check that out because that's super, super funny. And there's another one that he was in, Red Nose Day, where he comes in and Catherine Tate is playing another one of her characters, where she's a schoolgirl, and she says,
seen that one.
"You've seen that one, yeah?" And he's going, "Are you speaking English?" And she's like, "Oh, but you're Scottish. Are you speaking English?" Like that's the way she goes on about it. It's a funny one. Let me see. What have I missed? What have I missed? Daniel just said, hang on, I better go up and see. I don't know. I'm lost. Someone's part. I'm the only one who. Oh, Doctor Who. Yeah, you know what though, Lone Wolf. I never watched when I was a little girl, I watched Doctor Who because my dad watched it. But then again, when I say I watched it, it's not quite the truth. I would watch it from the hallway because Dad wouldn't let me watch it because he said it was too scary. Right. Later on, I watched a few episodes with Peterson. Shit, the one we were talking about before, the one with the celery in his pocket. Yeah. But then I sort of still didn't get into it. And then years later, so a few years ago, and it's probably 16 years ago now, because I realised it's 15 years since David Tennant appeared as the Doctor. I feel really old.
I know.
But I was
crazy.
I was watching a show called Torchwood, and I watched Torchwood because I thought, oh, he's handsome, as in like John Barrowman,
Captain Jack
Harkness. And I watched it, and I thought, oh, and in one of the episodes, I couldn't quite figure it out. He ran past a hand in a jar, and I'm like, what is this about? So I asked somebody who said, oh, he was a character on Doctor Who. And I thought, and me, inquiring minds, wanted to know more about the character. So I watched the Doctor Who. I was told which Doctor Who, and I went, oh, God, I've got to watch the Doctor Who. But I watched the Doctor Who episodes with him in it, where David Tennant, the first one that he's in, it's not David Tennant, it's the other one, the first one before David. But then I thought, geez, this doesn't look like the Doctor Who I used to watch when I was a kid. Like, it was really well done. And right back then, the storyline was quite good. It got a bit weird towards the end. So I stopped watching it after Matt Smith was the Doctor. I did watch a few episodes where, I can't even think, the next one after Matt Smith.
Peter Capaldi.
Yeah. He didn't do a bad job. He was a Doctor Who fan growing up, but still.
His first season was pretty good. But then the storylines themselves really fell off.
It was the storylines that killed it. That's what I mean.
That's always been the case with Doctor Who. It's the special effects of, especially when you go into the older series, have always sucked. You can clearly see the cardboard sets, and when they run past them are wobbling, and the rubber monster alien and stuff like that were always a little silly. But it was the stories that were so well written, so well done. That's what everyone fell in love with. You don't have to have, 4K, high D, 3D special effects to win over a crowd. It's the stories. And that's kind of the lost thing with like entertainment in general, Hollywood especially, where that they've kind of forgotten that. Because it's, some of those older shows are fantastic. Because when I was a kid, we had a local PBS station that would show a Tom Baker episode every day, kind of thing. And I just happened to, when I figured I was going to check it out for the first time, it just happened to be the very first one that he did. And I watched the entire run. Got to see all of Peter Davison's run. And now today, for anybody that's in the U.S., all of those old school Doctor Who's are available for free on Tubi. If you go on Tubi.com here in the U.S., I don't think that's available throughout the world.
No, I tried to get it the other day, and it said not available in your country. I thought,
that's why you use a VPN and choose a site in the U.S. and it will let you in.
Lone Wolf, Doctor Who was fake, Enzo? No.
I know. Sorry, I didn't mean to Doctor Who is real, just like Santa Claus.
What's maybe?
Yeah.
Hey, what did you say about Santa?
I said he's real, just like Santa Claus.
Oh, because Santa's real. I saw him in Virginia City.
Just like Doctor Who. You saw him in Virginia City?
I did. I had coffee with him.
Oh.
No, I did. Well, he's got a workshop in Virginia City.
Oh, okay. There was a Peter Capaldi episode where there was a Santa Claus in it, and Peter Capaldi's the doctor's like, how can you have gifts for every child in the world with just that one bag? it's bigger on the inside. You know,
Yeah.
and the doctor's like,
Yeah, well, I can't argue with that one. Have you ever watched Supernatural with Jensen Ackles and Jared
I
Padalecki?
actually just a few weeks ago for Black Friday, they were on sale, and I have the complete series DVD set.
Oh, well, there's one. Tis the season to be jolly, but there is one that where there's a Santa, Mr. and Mrs. Claus.
I don't really remember that one now that I think of it.
Well, you might not
I'm
have
not surprised.
gotten to it yet. I don't know what season it was, but yeah, they both. I can't even remember. It was something to do with some kind of pagan ritual, god, whatever. But Mr. and Mrs. Claus are in it, and they pull teeth and nails.
Yeah.
Huh?
That was the thing I liked about that show, is because they would incorporate in all of the because like all the Bigfoot people, all the cryptid people, all that stuff, they all know that show, because it's like, I want a car with a trunk full of guns and stuff like that too.
That's the reason to this day I still want an Impala. I love that car. I love that. And I saw a few when I was in America, and Mustangs. I like Mustangs too. The old ones. Like,
old muscle cars are great.
I'm torn. I think I want a Mustang more than I want an Impala, because they look pretty cool. There's a lovely green one that a young boy in Virginia City drives around, and I think he's far too young to have that car.
To appreciate it, yeah.
To appreciate it, but I think he does. He's always out washing it and cleaning it, so that's cute. Yeah, Stormy. Hang on, where am I? Being a TV show, correct. So half of the pagan stuff was not historically accurate, but some of it was. Like they pulled from it a bit.
They would pluck little pieces of the little lore here and there, and they would make a story out of it. They certainly had.
Their one on Halloween wasn't too bad, because again, artistic license in quite a bit of it, but it was true about why they wore the masks back in the day for Halloween. It was for different, like that part of it was real. True, I mean to say. But no, Supernatural. I'm in love with Jensen Ackles. How can you not be? I mean, yeah, so is probably half the female population of the world.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking man. And he actually gets, I don't know what it is, Enzo, about men. They tend to get better with age, whereas poor old females.
Well, and that's the most unfair thing for actors and actresses compared to that is if you're an actor, you go through this period as a younger person just starting off, and you get all the the hero type roles. Then there's a weird period where you kind of disappear, like in your late 30s, early 40s. Then you come back, and then you might have a few gray spots and whatever. And now you're the wiser, older character and stuff like that. And it's regal to see some gray, and the hairline may recede just a tad and things like that. Women, for actresses, you've got a very small window of opportunity. Once you hit 30, your clock is ticking quickly.
And it's
depending on it's not fair. It really is not fair.
It's fishy. But unless you're a really good actress, like there's really Helen Mirren,
she's amazing.
Dench, like there's a ton of look, even what's her face that used to be in X-Files. She's been making lots of stuff too. She was in
Gillian Anderson. She actually looks better, I think, than what she did when she was younger doing those X-Files episodes.
So,
it's like, what kind of like contract with a crossroad demon did this person make that they still look like this at this age?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Some of us do get better with age, Julie, I think. I think, and some of us, we look in the mirror and go, oh my Lord, that wrinkle was not there yesterday. To the point where you sleep at night and think, can I just train myself to sleep on my back so I don't wake up with a new wrinkle on my face? Oh, Tanya, I saw your question. I can't choose. That's really hard. Let's see. I suppose technically speaking, Jensen's married. Keanu has a girlfriend, but he's not married.
Oh, he's not married. I did not know that.
No, he's not married to her. So I wouldn't want to break up a marriage, nor would I want him to break up with his girlfriend. But there's no ring on it. So therefore, I'll pick Keanu because, that seems a fair thing. However, that's a really hard choice. That's a really hard choice.
The Jeffrey Dean Morgan thing, that's very funny.
Actually, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, yes, Stormy. Do you remember when he was in Grey's Anatomy and he played a character called Danny Duquesne? I think that was his last name. And the blonde actress was in, Danny Duquesne or Danny Ducant or something like that. I'm going by memory here, but he was in Grey's Anatomy. His character was a very rich person who was very ill and he needed an operation. And one of the blonde doctors, she's an actress, can't think of what her name is right now. Yes, he was in Grey's Anatomy for a few episodes. Danny Ducant was his character's name. So if you go Grey's Anatomy, IMB, characters, and just type in Danny, I think it'll come up. Or in his IMB, it'll show you his episodes of Grey's Anatomy. I would say without giving spoilers, I cried like a baby and fell in love with him at the same time. So, and he's in P.S. I Love You. And I think you see his bare bum. You do. So watch P.S. I Love You, the movie. He plays an Irishman. There we go. Look, poor old Enzo's off with the series.
Actually, I was looking at something real fast because Jensen Ackles has his own bar.
Yeah, brewery. Actually, brewery. It's a brewery.
And what is it? And what is it called?
Oh, I don't know.
It's called the Family Business Beer Company. Family business being from what they refer to as what they did as hunters in the show and all that stuff.
They did too.
But I guess they have one of the cars that they used in the show is on there outside of the place, and he stops by at least when he's in town because he lives around.
He does go by. I've heard that, Julie. I've heard that. But therefore, what cells do women have in our hands, and what are they attracted to? Oh gosh. Yeah, the car, when they finished filming Supernatural, both actors actually got a car. Jensen got the one, their A-list, like the one that they used for all of the good, where they were in it, like the proper scenes, good scenes where nothing was wrong with it. And it's my understanding that Jared got another Impala in not so much great shape because it wasn't the one they used, but they both got an Impala each. And so that was one of the things they wanted. That was part of the deal. That's what we want.
That's one of those shows that there were so many people that loved that show that really, really got ripped off because when all the vid and the lockdowns and all that stuff all started happening right as they were filming those last episodes. I guess the plan was for that final episode, because I'm sure you've seen it. It's not a spoiler for anybody if I talk about it.
It wasn't great.
It wasn't great, but I guess because it was all because they had there were so many restrictions they get. That's why the vampires that they fought in the barn had masks on because everyone was so freaked out by the vid that they didn't know what was happening at that time because it was really early on with it. But I guess the original plan was everyone throughout the entire run of the series that had died
They
were
were all going to
supposed to
be in the
be in
bar.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were all supposed to be in a bar,
Be
which
in the
was the
heaven
bar.
portion, yeah.
Yeah, it's the bar, I believe, is going to be the one that you see in a lot of the earlier episodes. But everyone, include. I don't know about Crowley, who is one of my favorite characters.
I know, but I guess he had a real beef with some of the folks that ran the show. That's why
he had a falling out. Yeah, he had a falling out because
I don't think we would have seen him back.
No, he had a falling out, and I don't blame him because I loved his character. Absolutely adored his character, and I was very sad to see him get knocked off in the end. But he's always said it had nothing to do with the other actors. It was production. It was the fact that his character got changed from being this king of hell, the king of hell, to being this pathetic crybaby, want to be human type. So it was that storyline that he kind of felt it was. And then eventually, they just stopped having him in a lot of episodes too.
Right, and that was the impression I got from an interview I saw with him. Is just like they'd have him in and be like, there's other acting gigs he could be doing because he's a great actor. And they'd have him like sitting around for like a week and a half during the shoot for an episode and be in it for like a couple of minutes.
2 seconds.
And it's like, this isn't worth it to me. I need something more if you're going to keep me around. And that was not in the plan, I guess. And he had other things going on.
The other thing that's interesting, there's hints of a season 16, but big hints. So the boys always come back from the dead, so that's not difficult.
How many times did they die and come back?
I don't know. They die nearly every episode and they come back. But it would be wonderful actually to see season 16 written well, and maybe the character Crowley could somehow come back, because it would be different. It would probably be Jensen and Jared producing the whole thing, because
because here in the US they were on the CW network, which as it turns out, like a couple of years ago they were trying to sell it off, but it wasn't that they weren't trying to sell the network for like a set money. It's like, you're going to take over our debt. As it turns out, none of their programming ever turned a profit, and they were just so deep in debt.
Amazing to think that it didn't, because I used to watch Arrow. I really liked Arrow.
The first few seasons of Arrow were amazing. Then it took this weird turn. All the shows on the CW took this weird turn where they were all kind of like that first Doctor Who episode from a couple of weeks ago, where it was like the message in your face all the time.
And that's what the first Doctor Who did. If you can watch it, it pulls you out of it. So you're watching it.
Totally.
You're watching it, and you see this cute little thing called a meep. I'm the meep, and David says, "Well, we'll find out where he rah rah rah," and the girl turns around, what was it? The word
you're assuming his pronouns.
Oh, and I thought, for fuck's sake, that's how I went straight away.
This is the smartest dude in the entire universe. You don't get to say anything to him. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I didn't mind the fact that Donna's had a baby boy that is now a girl. That's whatever. Fine. That's fine. That was fine. That's no deal to me. It was just they kept banging on about pronouns. I'm like, oh, fuck
it was
off.
about somebody. I was watching a different interview where they were talking about the show, and it's like about every 7 to 10 minutes they would just get this sledgehammer out and just bang on it about whatever.
There is.
It's like,
and it was a bit of a pity, because it pulled you out of the story. It pulled you right out of the story. You watch it, and for even some of my children to comment that was the case, and they're kind of some of my kids are pronouns and bits and bobs, and you've got to do this and that. It even pulled them out of the storyline. So I think it was unnecessary in a work of fiction to do that. I didn't mind what they did with Donna's son/daughter. That was fine. That was not an issue. Fine. That was quite fine the way they wrote that in. It was the other that pulled me out, which was annoying. But anyway, tis what it is. But other than that, it was a good episode. I did like the Meep. I would have thought I'd love a stuffed doll of the Meep until it turned into a naughty Meep. And then I thought, no, I don't want a stuffed naughty Meep. I want a David Tennant. He's a baby making machine, that man. actually, most men are. It's more the woman that should get the congratulations.
I know what we do. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the one that's had 5 children. Actually, someone might be able to correct me. I think one of David Tennant's children is, I could be wrong, transgender, or maybe there's something else. I don't know. But that's, like I said, that didn't bother me. That didn't pull me out the story. It was no, you're assuming a pronoun. I'm like, oh my Lord, it's a furry thing. But anyway, doesn't matter. But yeah, so I don't know. Geez, we've talked about a lot tonight, haven't we?
We've covered all the bases, I think, as we usually do.
Yeah. I did just check my subscribers. I thought, oh shit, I wonder if anyone's dropped off. But no, holding steady at 551.
Hang on.
Wow. I'll just check that no one's commented and let me good. No bad comments as yet. And I'll just check my emails to check I haven't got any nasty emails. If I even see anything, I won't be able to look at it. I'll delete it anyway. All good. No nasty emails. It's excellent work. We're all entitled to our opinions. Let's see. Anyone watched Evil on CBS Parent? No. Is that a show? Is it, Daniel? Evil. What's Evil about? Actually, hey Catherine, I had another argument with my children the other day. I did a little research and worked out, as did someone else. I actually confirmed their research. A transgender, no, not transgender. Catherine, trans woman. So when you're a man and you become a woman, that's trans woman.
Okay.
Pretty sure that's right. Actually did the research first because that term cis came up, right? People were saying cis woman, and I get quite offended because I think, no, I am not a cis anything. I am a woman. And my children are trying to say, oh, it's just to make it clear. I said, no, fuck you. It's not to make it clear. It's to take away what I am. I'm a woman. Fuck you. So I looked it up. And indeed, it is not. My children were arguing with me that it's a very old term. And I thought, it's not. It's still like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I did the research, and yes, it came from a scientific paper where they were doing work on different gender types, etc., and to just make it clear within that paper, so they didn't get mixed up when the word woman was mentioned. They just put cis in front of to nominate a woman as compared to a trans woman. And I went, see, I said, it's not a fucking old fucking Latin term for fucking women. I said, it's a fucking made up. And I went and lost my shit with my kids. And then I said, do you understand? I said that when you go, I want to be known as this, that, and the other thing, people do their very best. But then when people like myself turn around and go, yeah, but could you please not refer to me as that, because I'm not. I was born a woman. I am a woman. Thank you. I'm offended when you call me the cis, because it takes away from the fact that I am a woman. No, it doesn't. Yes, it fucking does. Leave me the fuck out of this shit. And I cracked it. See, Catherine, I can't breathe because I get really angry at people that say respect that I want to be called X, Y, and Z, and I do, but then it's not given back. Does that make sense? So it's not given back.
Right.
I'm called something I don't want to be called.
Exactly.
And then it makes an argument, and people go, well, I'm like, no, don't you remember the Helen Reddy song? And then I'll sing it. And I did it yesterday in the car. I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore. And she was Australian. She died from dementia. She died from dementia.
Not a good selling point, I think.
No, Helen Reddy, Australian, and that was her song. So I'm proud to be what I am, as is everybody else should be proud to be what they are as well and what they feel. And I just think what works for one should work for the other. So if you want to be known as, then you should respect when someone else says to you and not argue back at them, which is what, for my own children, people, that I was copying. So, no, don't. It makes me sad. So don't do it. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. Catherine said it in a word. But there is a trans woman I like to watch on the YouTube. And I should tell you about it if you're interested, because she's funny and pretty. And I love how she talks about how when she was a boy or man, and a good-looking man, but this is what annoys me. Good-looking men make stunning women. Bloody. I'm a woman, and I I have to struggle to look good. That's right, Julie. Sun Saver. Oh my God, I love us all. We're all here. Yes, I am here, and I am roaring. Hang on, I'll just go to this channel because this lady, I'm trying to think of her name now, and I bet you because I'm looking for her, I'm not going to find her. Shit. I'm subscribed to it as well, so that shows you, doesn't it? I think her name's nope. I'm going to find this. Alexia, I think her name is, but now I've got to find it, don't I? Shit, is it that one? Nah, that's a boxer. Oh, crikey. I just come up on the thing with some women fighting. Why can't, show more. There we go. I've got to follow. Every time I don't want to see one of her posts, I see it. How do you find someone you subscribe to without, subscriptions? There we go. Come on. There has to be one of hers pop up somewhere. She does them just about every freaking day. But she's amusing and clever and funny. Where are you? And she's engaged, and it's really good too because this girl, when I find her, I'm going to share it because if you're interested in checking her out, because she tells a story of how she was a boy, gay, boy, and fell in love, and her partner, who's a gay man, they talk about the struggle that he had because he fell in love with another man, and now the other man is a trans woman, and it's just interesting. So it's a good insight to how people, yeah. So shit. Why can't I find? I tell you what, every day, without fail, there's a bloody thing up. And do you reckon maybe she's on holidays?
Yes. I can't follow the story.
No, I just want to find her though, because I enjoy watching her. She's very clever and comes out with a lot of things. And now I freaking can't find her name. Shit. Oh yeah.
Muffin's eye seems to be swollen shut.
Oh, all right. I'll come and check it in a sec.
I didn't know if you were live or not.
Yeah, I'm live. Bloody kids, see, bloody kids.
I figured you'd be.
It's only been 3.5 hours. Come on.
Oh shit, it has been too. Oops. Oh geez. All right, I'll come and have a look at her in a second. Yahoo! There we are. Hang on, I found it. I'll put Alexis Blake. So hang on, I'll put a link. Copy. I think I can do this. Paste. There you go. There's a link to Alexis Blake. This one is this title of this video is My Fiance Reacts to Pre-Transition Photos of Me. So she puts little things like that in, and it's interesting for anyone who wants an understanding to have a watch. No, Stormy, to be honest, this is like a conversation with me and Enzo and you guys, and I go off on my little rants and I give you know, my opinions on everything, whether they're liked or not. I guess I try to be kind. But sometimes I rant. But yeah. Oh, what's going on? Who's whispering? What did I miss there? Catherine, Julie. Who's Julie? Oh, Julie. Oh, it's all right. Oh, it's all right. So I'm getting behind in chat. Oh, Tanya says she doesn't understand algebra. Oh, geez, Enzo. Actually, I was never good at it either, Tanya. Oh, thanks. Look, you found it before. Yeah, thank you. Alexis Blake's YouTube channel. Just if you're interested, you know, you don't have to subscribe, but if you're interested in going over and having it helped me understand a little bit because it confuses the hell out of me, but watching her channel has made it easier for me to understand that way. Yeah, so yeah, and you know me, I never mean to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm sure I do, but I don't mean to. It's not that. I know I hurt someone's feelings earlier, but bad luck. Because that was my opinion. You throw stones, sometimes they can be thrown back. And I didn't name names, did I? No, I didn't. I'm pretty sure I didn't. You know, when I was talking about the boys, Sam and Colby, I didn't name names. So there you go. Enzo doing math. Stopping.
Doing math.
Oh, waving. Oh, that, yeah. I want a Christmas tree like that behind me instead of my little. Although that kind of looks pretty, but I think Enzo's background's prettier.
Mine has snow. I can even have snow, even more snow now.
Well, that's right, Stormy. Everyone can have an opinion. I'm sure my opinions differ greatly to Enzo's. The point is you can have an opinion and say something and you can converse about that. So Enzo might say, oh, no, Karen, I don't agree because blah, blah, blah. If it's said in a nice tone and just, you know, yep, well, I understand what you're saying, but what about such and such, you know? And then if you can't agree, you just respectfully agree to disagree. And that's how it is. That's what I think. My old age has given me that wisdom. You're welcome. Oh, God. I still make mistakes every day. Let's see. I'm glad you're not leaving. So I can't believe we've been talking this long. 3.5 hours. Well, actually,
Me neither.
We always. What time is it where you are, Enzo?
10:30 p.m.
Oh, that's all right. That's early days.
I do need to go to the bathroom, so if we could wrap this up, it would be pretty handy.
Oh, all right. Oh, well, look, I will wrap it up, I suppose. Is there anybody who wants to go crook at me now? Or tell me anything, but so far so good. You know what? I can't.
Anybody else want a shot at the title? Come on, bring it on.
Hey, Sunsaver, that is exactly the point I was getting to earlier. If you missed what I was ranting on about earlier, don't throw stones when you live in a glass house. Keep your mouth shut. That's what I say. Because I can tell you, sometimes I say stuff and I think, oh shit, I really shouldn't have said that because I think I've done the same thing. But a lot of times I kind of think, yeah, no. And that's right, Lone Wolf. This needs to be a happy place. Tanya says you need to put on adult diapers before you go live with Karen. No.
I just pee on the floor. That's it. That's all I do. I just have a big drip pan underneath of my chair, and I just go. I have an
Oh,
astronaut kind of setup where it's a tube and all that. We won't get into that, but because you never know how long you're really going to be on with Karen. So.
That's right. Sometimes, like where you were lucky when I was in America, I couldn't stay on. Mind you, the Washoe Club, I stayed on 3 hours, I think, about 3 hours. But that was okay. I was at the Washoe Club. It gave people an opportunity to keep their eyes out behind me in case something was walking up and getting me. Nothing did. I suppose I should wrap it up. It's 2:30, and my daughter told me my Rottweiler's eye is swollen shut, so I better go and check what's happened there. I might take her to the vet. I'll go rob a bank before I go to the vet.
You're going to need to.
I'm going to need to, but it'll just be, maybe they tend to go outside. Could be an ant or who knows. I'll check her out. I'll do my nursey stuff first and deduct and then take her up to the vet. But yeah, she'll be okay. Sunsaver, hang on, let's see. I've been trying to be less judgmental of most people. We're all just monkeys in a zoo, and most are trying to get the right thing, do the right thing by their neighbours or kids. And yeah, that's true. There are some assholes in the world, though, Sunsaver. I mean, but we can't all be perfect. Like Enzo, myself, you guys. Like we're Yeah, gee, it's about the same here. I think just to walk into the vet for an appointment, $120. She'll be right. Animals they're important. So I must go and find out why her little old eye is swollen. Yeah, guys, so coming up, I intend to be working on my episode. I might work on 2 in tandem, but I'll do the Mackie Mansion one first. And because that's really interesting at the moment, because I have found out it wasn't always the Mackie Mansion, like that's not what it was called. So because I now know what it was called, I can do a really good episode on the people. I've found their names already. So people did pass away in the house, interesting enough. So found their names. So I'll put an episode together with that, with the cute little things that happened while I was there. Nothing, again, I've got to listen back with my headphones on. At this point, though, I do not believe anything happened while I was there. No EVPs, no anything, not even any scariness. It was just very relaxing. But it doesn't mean that it's not haunted. It just means that nothing happened while I was there. But now that I know who did die in the house, next time I go back, I've got a better understanding. And then I'll also put the Washoe together. Again, I can put in the photos of the gentleman that I have researched that did pass away, so you'll at least know what he looked like if you ever get to the Washoe. So they're the next 2 I'll work on, and I'll hopefully have them up over the next week. And are you available next Friday, Enzo? What's the date? Shivers. We don't want to get...
double check, but I do not think I am next week. I will be
the 15th for you.
Nope. At 11, about this time next Friday, I will be on the JoJo Bones radio show.
Oh, do promote JoJo Bones radio show. And how do we find the JoJo Jones radio show? Is it on the YouTube?
Yeah, it's a YouTube. Excuse me, it's an internet radio show. Radio. Hang on a second, I have to look it up. But JoJo Bones is an old friend. We actually used to do a YouTube show together, and he had some issues come up where he had to drop the whole thing. But he still does his radio show where he does a lot of old American classics on there, going from the 50s up to late 90s. He skirts a little bit into the 90s, but not much. But he does where he plays like several songs in a row, and then he cuts in where we do like an interview thing, and we jibber jabber about this and that, and not necessarily about the music or anything, but then he just plays some more music. So it's like this with music, like 4 or 5 songs of music, and then we come back and chit chat for a little while.
Oh, cool. Well, I hope me playing a little few minutes of Ghostbusters music doesn't get me in trouble. But I'm not monetized anyway, so what are they going to do?
You're fine.
I think I'll be fine. Maisie Rose, bless your cotton socks. You can come on if you want, Maisie. Do you want to? Email me. Of course, Maisie Rose could come
There
on.
you
I
go.
could do with listening to a Scottish accent.
You have to have a hat. You have to have a digital background, and you have to have a really cool shirt.
No, that'd be fine. What was I going to say? Yeah, so well, I'll be here next Saturday during the day, whatever, for me, because I like having Tanya here, and Tanya works through the week, so it's a bit hard for me. Tanya, Tanya's in New Zealand and she works, and Catherine's in another time zone, so she's always here. Oh, hang on, let me see. I'll tell you in a second, and then this is my third attempt at saying goodbye. Now we talking about entertainment. I'm out of problem-solving mode and out of the people-pleasing mode. I'm back to experiencer mode. Just want to have fun. Yeah, I'll give you some fun, Sons Ayla. Wow. Enzo and I met on, and I don't think she's still here. She might be listening. Sam.
Yeah.
She was here earlier, but we have been talking for a long time. She's probably gone to sleep.
Hours.
Yeah, Enzo, I'll go to the bathroom. I'll say goodbye in a second. Yeah, but I was on. Sam invited me onto her channel, Arden Paranormal. I was on chatting to her, and Enzo popped in, and he started talking, and I thought, who is this dude? He's so funny. Why doesn't he have his own channel? So luckily for me, he doesn't have his own channel yet. And he comes on here and talks to us and keeps us entertained. And me, he's a good laugh. I like talking to Enzo. Yeah, that's right, Tanya. I'm the fun fairy queen. Oh, where's Enzo gone? Oh, no.
Whoop, sorry.
He's back. So next week, let's see. I better check when Christmas is too. Bet no. What day is Christmas? Oh, Christmas is Monday. So, I'm pretty right for like this time slot for the next few weeks. And Enzo can't be with us, and I'll be finished talking because before Enzo's radio show, so that should be all right. But yeah, Enzo will pop in.
If we did a short show next week, I will be able to attend.
What do you think, guys? Should I do a short show next week so Enzo can attend? Maybe I should. Maybe we should try and keep it down to like an hour and a half, 2 hours tops. Yeah. That's what I reckon. What do you think, Enzo?
If you start wrapping up at an hour and a half, it'll end at 2 hours. That's
right. All right. Everyone says yes. They love you, Enzo. Yeah, he should put a pee pad on his chair, shouldn't he? Sometimes I can tell you now, I wish I had a pee pad. Don't you just hate it where, does everyone hate this? I'm going to go. But when you're in bed at night, you've gone to the loo, you've done all that, you've hopped into bed, and maybe, an hour, maybe two later, you wake up, but you're so comfortable in bed, and you think, I don't want to get up and walk to the loo. It's cold. No, I'm comfortable. But then you fall back asleep, but then you dream that you're going to the toilet, and that wakes you up. I haven't never wet the bed. I don't mean that, but you wake up because in the dream you need to go to the toilet. So you wake up and it's like, oh my God, I need to go to the toilet. So you do. Then you really do get up. It was 5 hours, 8th time. Yeah, all right. Catherine always counts how many times it takes me to say goodbye.
I was wondering what that countdown was.
Oh, I know. Look out for my content coming up this week, Mackie Mansion or Washoe Club, one of the two. If you didn't see it yesterday, my 5 haunting questions with Janice Oberding, it only goes for 15 minutes. So if you want to have a look at that, I do an animation. So it's all good. Stay happy. Keep out of drama. Throw no stones in your glass house. and just be kind to everybody. And if you can't be kind, just like my Nana said, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. And have a wonderful weekend. And I love you all. And I'm happy to be back. So I'm talking to everybody. And I'll see you Friday as well. Friday America, Saturday here next week. So there you go. How's that, Catherine? I'm going. Woohoo! Love you all. See you, Dee, Maisie, everybody. I'll talk to you all later. I love you lots. Thanks, Tanya. Bye.
Bye.